million.
Well, you got caught, but like asking the question, why are people, this song sucks. Why are so many people streaming this song today?
Yeah, the AI songs are a real problem, and also people posting unreleased, like leaked songs from real artists on their own Spotify account and then earning revenue until the real artist label notices and takes it down.
Yeah. All right, that's Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Also, Michelson Laser Vision. Tell us about our friends at Michelson. We get the opportunity with LT all the time to hear the great word at Michelson. But Brown and I both went by there. We were not candidates for laser eye surgery. But Michelson has been doing it for over a couple of decades here. The best in the business. And you can get more details by going online to michelsonlaservision.com or calling the number on your screen, 205-969-8100. And checking out everything they have. Dr. Mark Michelson and his whole team there. Family-owned business for over the years, and they are cutting edge, state-of-the-art. And they've been that way and still continue to be that way for over 2 decades. They took care of Lance. They'll take care of you today, michelsonlaservision.com. All right, so I guess we're all on watch to see if Will Wade's the next coach at LSU. We'll talk tomorrow about the great Ty Simpson's pro day in Tuscaloosa, and if he continues with Dan Orlovsky to move all the way up. In fact, Orlovsky right now on First Take, the replay, best quarterback prospect in the draft, Fernando Mendoza or Ty Simpson. Orlovsky continues to say it's Ty Simpson because of the throws you have to make in the NFL. And I'm telling you, when one guy like Orlovsky says it, that helps with the momentum for Ty Simpson, so that's all good news for the Ty Simpson camp. We, of course, are watching the North Carolina job that is now open as Hubert Davis is fired. Keep an eye on that throughout the day. I don't expect anything to move on that job today because there are big players, including Nate Oats, Todd Golden, Tommy Lloyd, who are still alive in this tournament, TJ Otzelberger, still alive in this tournament, names that have been mentioned. Brad Stevens and Jay Wright have not, they sort of have pulled their names out. Dan Hurley is on right now with McAfee, and a lot of people do not believe Hurley, being a Northeast guy, would leave UConn, 2-time national champion, to go to North Carolina. But Billy Donovan's an interesting name to keep an eye on, to see if he's ready to come back, the 2-time national championship winner with the Florida Gators. All right, so that's our show today. It's been a fun one. I appreciate all the guests who jumped in, took time out to help me on a solo day. Brown will co-host the show with me tomorrow from Vegas. So tune in tomorrow and we'll find out what Ryan Brown and his wife Jen do in Vegas and how they're enjoying the trip out there. And then Lance returns next Monday as we continue with our spring break. Hope you guys are enjoying yours. Appreciate everybody behind the glass as well. Tyler and Brooks and Forrester always do a tremendous job. They're a constant, but they help me more today than usual. And for those that are wanting the Chooches 3-team parlay for tomorrow night, Purdue money line, Iowa, Nebraska first half under, and over the 165.5 in the Arkansas-Arizona game. That's the guy who was winning all the money when I was in Vegas, random guy who I met, who I think paid me a compliment in the long run after saying I was obnoxious and loud, that I ended up being a fun guy to hang out with. I thought I was fun in Vegas, too. Had very little stress out there. It was a good time, good trip. Thanks for allowing me to do it, and thanks for being a part of the show today. Until next time, God bless you, and God bless America.
Next Round hoodies and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live now on a Thursday, we've got Alabama basketball on the ground in Chicago, getting ready for their shoot-around at the United Center. We'll talk Bama basketball. The Sweet 16 gets going again tonight with our Shannara Showdown. We'll get to that here in this opening segment. Developing news in a second. Later on, Matt Stahl joins the show in hour 2 from AL.com. He was at Ty Simpson's Pro Day yesterday. Big news on Ty Simpson and the Jets today. Stahl also will talk to us about a study he did, research he did on how high school recruiting spending dropped for 10 of 15 SEC schools this past year. UAB coach Alex Mortensen will also join us in hour 2. And the final hour of the show to set the table for tonight's Sweet 16, Richard Hendrix back on the show. But from Las Vegas live and in living color, and it's a beautiful living color shot, Ryan Brown joins us now from his hotel room, which he was impressed. I was able to, without knowing, to call it's the Aria. And he said, "How'd you know?" And I was just there. I know the skyline. How you doing, Brownie?
I'm good, Jimmy D. Are you certain I never mentioned that? Like as we were leading up, like where you staying, Jim? Where you staying, Brown? I mean, that was a pretty quick call by you when you saw the live shot pop up.
Well, the buildings around you. You know, when you go Park MGM, which used to be the Monte Carlo, is where I started piecing it all together. There, yep, right there,
Yeah,
Park
right there.
MGM.
Yeah, Park MGM.
Yeah, because that happened to be where I was staying. So I had the Aria out my window the entire time. So
okay. I told Jennifer I thought you stayed New York. I thought you were a New York guy, which is, I don't know if it's in the shot. But
no, I do. My buddies
right
were in New York, and I was Park MGM. So I had a different room from there. So I was different hotel. Long story there.
Sketchy.
So what did the Browns do out there? What was the one takeaway that you did? Did you play any golf?
No, I don't even have my golf clubs with me. It's just Jennifer and I. I have eaten, like, you know me, man. When I go to a town, I'm going to find, and Furman, I'm going to give Furman credit. He gave me some tremendous restaurant recommendations. So, and Andy Staples. Furman and Andy Staples worlds collided. Do you remember Andy mentioning Mother Wolf when he was down in Miami? And there's one in Vegas, and Furman had already recommended it to me. So I thought, Vegas native plus Andy Staples, how could you go wrong? It was a phenomenal meal. So yeah, we've eaten like kings and queens, and seen some of the shows, and we did see Wizard of Oz in the Sphere last night.
Worth it, isn't it?
Oh, the Sphere is incredible.
It is.
It's really incredible, and it's just an immersive. Tyler is going to love this line. But as we were leaving, I told Jennifer, I tell you what, I had never seen that movie start to finish, and it's much shorter than I imagined. She was like, "That was heavily edited." It was like edited down to 75 minutes. And so I'd never seen Wizard of Oz start to finish. So I thought, man, that was a short movie. I can't believe I've never watched that.
Yeah,
but,
they took out some singing, some boring singing and dialogue probably for the Sphere.
Yeah, as you talked about, back in the day, they used to make movies, they showed the passing of time a lot back in the day. And that's cut out of Wizard of Oz. I thought, that was an efficient movie, man. They got her to that Crystal Palace in a hurry.
Emerald Palace.
Yeah, Emerald
Palace.
Thank
you, Tyler. Emerald Palace.
Hey, so
Palace,
the flying monkeys always freaked me out in that movie. Yeah. I'm sorry if that's offensive. They were monkeys, right? Okay.
Yes, they were. They were. I don't know who you would offend there. But,
I don't either. I don't know if they were gorillas or chimpanzees. I went to generic. The monkey. They always freaked me out there. In the Sphere, do they have that scene, and are they flying all over your head?
Yep. Well, not all over. So here's what's funny is, like in the tornado scene early on, they drop like leaves out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
And they're falling, leaves are falling and things like that.
Somebody's job to clean that up after every show, by the way.
Every show. That's what I thought about. And then there's apples that fall out in one scene where she's at the apple tree, where Dorothy's at the apple tree. And when they first show one of the flying monkeys, I told Jennifer, if that ceiling opens up, monkeys start flying out, I'm out of here. I get a simple, but they do have like these little fake monkeys that fly around down low. But obviously fake monkeys, Ryan. I don't think you have to point that out. These monkeys that fly around down low, but they weren't like up high. We were kind of up high, but no, the Sphere is incredible, man.
It is.
It's incredible.
It's worth. I don't care what seat you have. If you're ever in Las Vegas and whatever's being, if they're showing a movie, it's worth going into it just to see how tremendous it is. So Brown's out there. We will get going here. with some developing news, breaking news. On 3 Sports and everyone else now reporting Will Wade is leaving NC State to go coach LSU in basketball. And Brownie, I brought this up yesterday with a couple of people on the show, including Tom Hart, that, we're so strong in the SEC now with these basketball programs and so many great coaches. Somebody's got to be at the bottom, and now we're taking the bottom team, LSU, and we're giving them Will Wade back, and he's going to go back to LSU with his old bosses and try to recreate LSU. You got to have some bad teams. Here's LSU. They're going to get good again. What do you think about them moving on Will Wade and bringing him back?
Yeah, I mean, first off, like it's weird that we live in a world where the LSU job is that much better than the NC State job. Like, I don't know how you've always viewed the NC State job. They've won 2 national championships, which LSU's been to 2 Final Fours, obviously. But I mean, I guess I've always, we've just, and we talk about this in football, but we're going to have to do it in basketball too. We're just going to have to adjust what we consider good jobs and bad jobs. It's not historic anymore. If I'm an LSU fan, obviously I'm extremely excited because this tells me, number one, there's alignment in the basketball program that Will Wade is comfortable with because he had a good spot at NC State. I mean, they were in the play-in game, right? So he's headed in the right direction. And number two, it tells me that they've promised him, they've made some NIL promises to him, that the NIL is going to be robust and it's going to be perhaps somewhat like they did with Lane Kiffin to get him. I mean, boy, LSU, Verge Alsbury, I thought this guy was just a placeholder, but he's aimed high and he's gotten his 2 guys. He's gotten Lane Kiffin and Will Wade. And, I mean, it's hard to argue with those 2 hires based on what Will Wade has previously done at LSU. But you're right about the SEC. Like, if I'm a South Carolina fan, I'm like, man, I guess we're at the bottom. I mean, we held on to the coach that had us at the bottom. The other team that was with us at the bottom went back to the coach that had them at the top. So if I'm a South Carolina fan, obviously I feel like we're probably relegated to the bottom of the league.
Yeah, Will Wade is 43. He was at LSU for 5 years, 3 NCAA tournament appearances. Hard to imagine. I know it wasn't that long ago, but just remembering LSU in the NCAA tournament, it just doesn't seem real. He was fired because the FBI caught him on tape with a strong-ass offer. Wade was hired at McNeese, went 50-9 with a pair of NCAA tournament appearances there before being hired at NC State a year ago. 20-14 and made it to the first 4, lost to Texas, who's still playing. On April 1st, his buyout drops to $3 million, but LSU's not waiting around. They're going to go ahead and make the move now. Replaces Mac McMahon, who was 60-70 in 4 seasons and has won a total of 6 SEC games the past 2 years. So everyone raves about Mac McMahon, but they were in a bad position and could not get it going in the right direction down there. So Will Wade on his way back to LSU, everybody reporting that today. And as you said, that's a fairly good job there at NC State. We'll see who they go, but for our purposes, we're an SEC-based show.
Second best job available in that state right now, though. I mean, that's
easily.
Yeah, easily. So that's the thing. Obviously, they're not fishing from the same pool. I don't think anybody that North Carolina is going to get that is outside the North Carolina family, if that's the way they go this time, is going to be a person that was considering the LSU job as well. Okay. I mean, excuse me, the NC State job as well.
Yeah, we'll update you on that North Carolina job. Some people having to talk yesterday because they were in front of microphones. But first, let's set the table for the Sweet 16 tonight. And our Shannara Showdown gets us to that. Brownie, we've got our game pick, but tell us a little bit about Alexander Shannara before we talk about the Shannara Showdown tonight.
So our guy Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys, no matter what legal issue you face, Alexander Shannara can take care of you. Shannara.com. That is the website you go to face any legal issue you face with our guy Alexander Shannara. Now, this is a guy that has recovered more than $2 billion for his clients. $2 billion. So you know he's doing something right and he knows what he's doing. Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case with Alexander Shannara. Shannara.com. More than $2 billion recovered for his clients. Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case at Shannara.com.
And our Shannara Showdown tonight. And again, you don't have to play this any other time. It's just a one-day thing to jump on and try to win. It's a great showdown tonight in Arizona versus Arkansas. And this matchup tonight goes at 8:45 on CBS, Arizona, Arkansas. You go to our website right now and make a play in the TNR showdown in that big game, Arizona and Arkansas. And you're out there with all the betting lines and all of that, Brownie. So we'll start with that game. Darius Acuff versus Braden Burries and that Arizona team that has looked about as consistent as anybody in basketball. They lost both of their games in 1 week, so they got 2 long winning streaks on either side of 2 losses in 1 week. And I think in our bracket challenge, Arizona is the most common pick to be the national champion, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I think nationally that's the case too. I think a lot of people are on Arizona. They've liked what Tommy Lloyd's team has done this year and the way they have looked. And then when you look at Arkansas, you've got Darius Acuff, who could be the modern day Purvis Ellison. Is that right? Purvis. Yeah. It's been too long for me.
Yeah.
Never Nervous Purvis. And for the youngs that don't remember, and I was alive and I still struggle to remember his name properly. That's a guy done away that basically carried Louisville to a national championship. And Carmelo Anthony did the same thing for Syracuse. You don't see it as much now as you used to in this world of, the ability to build a roster so easily. But I mean, that's what we're looking at with Acuff. I mean, this could be a guy that could have one of those, Never Nervous Purvis Ellison type moments and will his team to a national championship. He's got the ability to do that. But this is a whole different animal than they've faced so far in this tournament. In the 2 games, they've looked good, but Arizona is just a different level of basketball. And our teams in our state have seen that already.
Yeah, I to be honest with you, though, I've liked the way the whole talent around Acuff has gotten so much better. They're big and long, and I don't know about anybody else. I don't know if you guys are throwing a dollar or two around the sports books out there, but it's not going to floor me tonight if Arkansas pulls the upset. To your point, Acuff is that good.
Yeah, I mean, he is. He's a guy that could take a game over. Now, Tommy Lloyd also is a guy that knows how to coach defense, and I think I might like Arkansas a little better if they could have had this game on short rest. I think a week to recover legs and prepare for Acuff is a huge benefit for Arizona here. If this were just somehow flipped and this were an Elite Eight matchup rather than a Sweet 16 matchup, I would like this a little bit better on short rest and short prep for Acuff. But having a week roughly to get ready for him, or not really a week, but extended period to get ready for him, I think is benefit Arizona very, very much so there. So it's going to take a monumental effort. I'm with you. The team around him has played better. Calipari makes deep run after deep run after deep run historically in this tournament. But this feels like too big of a mountain to climb for Arkansas to me. Not to mention the fact that I've got Arizona, so I need them to win.
7.5, and I'll be cheering for the Hogs tonight because that may put me in a good place in our bracket challenge. So 7.5 tonight. Arizona is the favorite over Arkansas. It's the late game on CBS. The other SEC team playing tonight, Texas and Purdue. Texas, the only double-digit seed left in the tournament. Hard to picture Texas as an underdog, 6-10 on CBS, where Purdue equally a 7.5-point favorite. And I ask you, Texas's chances of pulling an upset tonight. They're going to have Jordan Pope, lower leg injury. He's dealing with that, but he's going to go. But Braden Smith is the talk of basketball on the Purdue side, and they've won 6 straight. They seem to be getting hot at the right time.
Yeah, I think they are. And, this is one of those where historically, obviously, Matt Painter and Purdue have had a propensity to exit this tournament before they should. And, you mentioned it early on with these 11 seeds. You and Lance talked about it the other day. As much as I like to cramp on those games in Dayton and call them play-in games, an 11 seed has historically got in this tournament and made some noise. And Texas can do that. And see, now, you've overcome the fact that you were the 11 seed. The penalty in being the play-in game team. So you got to go to Dayton. Then, as Sean Miller pointed out, there wasn't even a plane waiting for them in Dayton. They had to wait for the plane to get there. Then you got to fly to and it's a whirlwind. Well, now all that's behind you. You've had a chance to get your legs under you, get back to Austin, rest a little bit. And now you've got, the same amount of prep time, the same amount of rest as Purdue. So, I mean, if you can, as one of those play-in game participants, if you can survive to the second weekend, all of a sudden your penalty is kind of over. I mean, these guys now are fresh, and you just never know. This Texas team looks so inconsistent and so bad throughout the rest of the tournament. Is this finally, are they finally the team that we thought Sean Miller's team could be? I mean, sometimes it just happens at the tournament. You get to that tournament and a otherwise mediocre team flips the switch, and all of a sudden they're a good team.
Yeah, so Texas and Purdue tonight. To Brown's point, Selection Sunday. They're quickly Austin to Dayton, Dayton to Portland, Portland back to Austin, now Austin to San Jose. They did not take the Alabama plan and just stayed out west. So a little travel, but they used that to rest Jordan Pope. And I got a couple of big questions before we get away from basketball for you. It's interesting. The Big Ten's got 6 teams left. The SEC has 4 teams left. And some of the Big Ten SEC matchups here where the SEC really we're playing uphill with these 4 SEC teams left. We'll go the 2 tonight and then the 2 tomorrow, which of course is Alabama, Michigan, Tennessee, and Iowa State. If I asked you how many SEC teams are left in the Elite 8, what would your answer be? And I'll give you the matchups while you think. Texas, Purdue, Arkansas, Arizona, both 7.5-point underdogs tonight. And then tomorrow, just for people who are tuning in, Alabama is a 9.5-point underdog to Michigan, and Tennessee is a 3.5-point underdog to Iowa State. No SEC team is favored.
I'm going to say 1.
Yeah, the guys behind the glass were heavy on 0 yesterday.
I mean, 0 is probably the right call. Yeah. And you know, when I sat down,
I had 3.
SEC. Jimmy Sankey with 3 moving forward. You know, look, I mean, 0 to me is probably the right call there. I mean, it's just which of those do you feel best about the upset in? I mean, you watch Arizona. Look, I mean, I'm just going to play the odds that there's an upset. I mean, this tournament is, I don't know if it's historically the best for favorites, but I think the first round was so far. So I don't know if it'll end up being historically, but it's off to a good start where more favorites won in the first round than normally you get. So, but the odds tell you now that there's a little more even matchups and the quote unquote Cinderellas, the mid-majors are wiped out of this thing, is that maybe we'll find that upset in the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8. So I think the answer is probably 0. I'll go 1, and for some reason my gut tells me Tennessee. It's 3 straight years for Rick Barnes if he can get to the Elite 8. But I think the back room, I think I would go with them if I had to at 0. I'll say 1.
You'll say 1. I'll hold my 3 and say Texas is the only one that can't get it done tonight.
Well, what a day if that happens, huh? What a day. What
if
a day.
Arkansas beats Arizona, Bama shocks Michigan, and Tennessee beats Iowa State.
Would be shocking.
Just clip them off. Pew, pew, pew. All right there. Our friends at Hoover Toyota getting our conversation going today. They can get your drive every morning going at Hoover Toyota. Used car dealer, but also all the great new Toyotas are there for you. Serving Birmingham, Alabaster, Vestavia, and the surrounding area. They've got great new and used car financing, auto service, and the genuine Toyota parts. They've been perfecting the art of customer service for over 20 years now with their philosophy to give information to their customers. Their inventory offers fantastic selection. Their on-site finance department provides affordable financing options. And even after the keys are yours, and that vehicle is all in your garage and everything, they continue to serve you with an unbelievable service and parts department. Unbelievable customer service. View their inventory and check out their pricing online. Hoover Toyota, hoovertoyota.com. Yesterday was a Ty Simpson Pro Day. We'll get back to basketball with a couple of our guests later on today. Yesterday was Ty Simpson's Pro Day. If I can get cut 10 first, before we talk about what Ty did and what Ty's going to do, I love the way Ty Simpson is painting himself in crimson glory, man. He says all the right things to get this legacy cemented for him, even though he will not have a national championship. It is a legacy at Alabama. He has fully embraced the fact that whatever happens to him in the NFL, he's going to wear the Alabama sash across his chest with great pride. Yesterday, talking with our folks at Yay Alabama, they put this out after Ty Simpson's Pro Day.
I really enjoyed it. It was the last time getting to throw here in Tuscaloosa. especially to my guys, Josh, Jerem, Ryan, Rico. Met a new friend, Noah Rogers, is going to be a great player. So it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. This place means a lot to me. Those guys mean a lot to me. And being able to throw, I remember watching Bryce and Will in here when I was a freshman. So being here is super surreal and super great. So I appreciate everything that those guys have done for me.
Emotional that it was his last time to throw in that building, Brown. And we've always talked about this over the years, and we appreciate Yay Alabama. You can get great content by subscribing to Yay Alabama and help out your program if you're an Alabama fan. We've always talked about protecting your legacy, whether it's with a pro team or a college team, and Ty Simpson seems to have that part down to a T and saying all the right things as he exits Alabama after 1 year as the starter.
He does, and that is something that in this day and age in college athletics is going to be pretty rare. And we've talked about that a lot on this show, a guy that is so identified with just one school, like, even Jaden Daniels, who was a tremendous player, Heisman Trophy winner at LSU. You still remember his Arizona State days as well. And, he just doesn't get wholly – no, he was obviously much better at LSU than he was at Arizona State. He won the Heisman. But he just doesn't get wholly remembered for his time at LSU. That's not the only thing you think about with him. And that's going to be it with Ty Simpson. And we talked about it when the reports from Chris Lowe were that he might have an opportunity to hit the transfer portal and make $5-6 million next year. And there was discussion at Tennessee. And we talked about what would that do ultimately to your legacy in Tuscaloosa. And he gave the great answer of, I'm a guy that's going to be a handprint in the concrete at Denny Chimes guy. I'm going to be remembered by my time at Alabama. And, he didn't just chase money, but I think it's going to pay off for him because I think, man, I tell you, there is no bigger fan of Ty Simpson than our guy, Dan Orlovsky. I don't know if you've paid attention, Dunaway, to Orlovsky, but he continues to tell everyone that Ty Simpson is the best quarterback in this draft. So I think being patient, sticking around in Tuscaloosa and just waiting for his time to go to the NFL is going to pay off tremendously for Ty Simpson. Whatever he might have lost in NIL to come back and play another year, he's going to more than make up for that in the NFL.
And not only is Orlovsky backing up Ty Simpson, Todd McShay doubled down yesterday and said Orlovsky's exactly right, that Ty Simpson's the best quarterback in the draft. Daniel Jeremiah, friend of the show, says it's a second-round pick in his eyes, as you see Ty Simpson throwing at his pro day video yesterday from over there. And, did a lot of impressive things according to every scout that was there. But Daniel Jeremiah still has him as a second-round grade. Adam Schefter says he's a first-round guy according to his sources. And Orlovsky and McShay say he's the best quarterback in the draft. And I saw one headline today, Brownie, that said you can expect Ty Simpson to go anywhere from pick number 2 in the draft to pick number 44 in the draft.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's at least we've narrowed that down.
Yeah.
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 Well, I mean, look, I don't know if I don't know if you could see it, but just over my right shoulder is the big Roomba where the Las Vegas Raiders play their football. And if you're Ty Simpson, I mean, I know it's nice being overall number 1 pick, but I think I would take my chances and hope that I fall elsewhere. Wouldn't you? I mean, do you want to play for this franchise out here? I mean, Vegas is a cool town. I'm sure it's a great place to live. It's been pretty hot out here this week.
It cooled off by the time you got there, I think.
I mean, it's still been pretty hot, I'll go ahead and tell you. But I just don't know that this is where I want to make my permanent NFL home. And this franchise, and now, look, you don't know which franchise is going to pick you either. I mean, it could be a Jets-like franchise or a Browns or somebody like our Dolphins.
Well,
a franchise that has struggled just bad.
He's got dinner tonight with all the Jets personnel, and he's private workout for the Jets tomorrow. So he and his dad are sitting down with the Jets owner, the Jets general manager. All the Jets folks are dining with the Simpsons tonight, and then he's got a private workout with the Jets tomorrow. And you've been around Ty Simpson like I have, and he will wow them on the whiteboard. The family's very personable. The Jets will love the family, and the question becomes: will the Jets take him second? Will they take him 16th? Or will somebody else try to jump up and get him, or will he fall down to where Daniel Jeremiah thinks he's a second-round grade?
It just feels like too much water is under the Mendoza Bridge that the Raiders have already decided he's going first. So I don't anticipate that happening, even though guys we trust like Orlovsky, who played the position in the league, and McShay, who, say what you want about Todd McShay. That guy's been doing it a long time. In spite of the fact that they say he's better than Mendoza, it just feels like the Mendoza thing is just going to happen. So, I mean, would you rather, if your choice were the Jets or the Raiders, I think I'd rather go Raiders. As Michael points out in the chat room, Tom Brady is an owner. I don't know how that has impacted them positively. I don't know that it has yet, but he is an owner. I guess I'd rather be a Raider than a Jet, but I don't know that either one of them is too desirable right now.
Well, I would say this, that in that city there at Las Vegas, they're about to get an NBA franchise. Their baseball team's eventually going to get there. You can see them building just probably off to your right over on the horizon, very near the Sphere, I think. They already had some posts going up for the new stadium. I'd hate to be the guy that had to move all those rocks out of the way to put down grass. They've got the NHL and they've got the NFL, but they have no Las Vegas stars yet. Nobody who's the biggest sports star in Las Vegas history. I know they've had some great hockey players, but if you are the first quarterback to go there and you're the first one to lead Las Vegas Raiders to a championship, you're going to be an icon in that city that seems to only continue to grow. So New York has a lot of sports stars. Las Vegas doesn't have any, really. So
no, it's a good point, and you've got to go a long way in New York to be a star. I mean, just being a good quarterback might not make you a star there. I mean, there have been tremendous stars, and you're right. You could be the first NFL star in Las Vegas. One
more thing to get to in this opening segment after I remind you that our friends at CPAP Plus can help you get a good night's sleep. It looks like Brownie had a good night's rest, he and his wife Jen in Las Vegas. If you're looking for the best CPAP gear with personal service you can trust, visit our friends CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280 in Trussville. New customers, they've got something special just for you. Get a $20 credit toward the purchase of a new mask system, a CPAP cleaner, or even a travel CPAP machine. Stop by today at CPAP Plus, where you'll find the best service and equipment all in stock and ready for you with hundreds of 5-star Google review. Trust CPAP Plus for all your CPAP needs. CPAP Plus, where every night matters. Brown's going to be with us another segment coming up, and then he's going to hit the road. And I bring that up only to say that as I look on my social media platform, I'll just open up X right now, where on X they are calling this maybe the worst travel day in American history.
Okay.
Because of the waits and lines and everything.
What are you doing?
This is not sustainable, says one source to NBC, what they're trying to do with the TSA. But here's the good news. In Vegas, when I was leaving, it was all still TSA workers. They were working without pay on Monday evening when I was going, and it was the shortest TSA line I had ever been in. So it's not the nightmare you get in Atlanta or Chicago or New York or LAX right now.
Yeah. It's funny. So we flew out here Sunday, Dunaway, and Birmingham Airport's. I love Birmingham Airport. It's pretty easy. I wish we had more direct flights, but whatever. It's pretty easy airport to deal with, right?
That's right.
But I told Jennifer, I said, look, it's not going to hurt to get there a little early. I mean, it's an afternoon flight. What else are we going to do with our time, right? So we got there plenty early, literally walked right up to the kiosk, put the tag on my bag, rolled it up. Lady waited, took it, was at that desk for 2 seconds, walked over to TSA pre-check. I think I was through the line faster than I've ever been. Like in all of this, I don't think I have ever had a quicker trip through the security line in Birmingham than I did this past Sunday. And then we land in Vegas, and it's just before Alabama tip, so it would have been 6 o'clock out here. Alabama, Texas Tech, they were just about to tip within 30 minutes. But about the time we got to the area here, they were tipping. And I looked over at the TSA line because, as you know, when you're walking to the luggage carousel at Vegas, you walk right past security. There were like 10 people in line.
Yep.
So I don't know why. I would imagine in a city like this that depends so heavily on tourism, they are going to do everything possible to not make it a nightmare, right? Yep. At Vegas Airport. I mean, that's what this whole city's based on.
Yep.
It's hospitality and tourism. So I'm hopeful today's going to be fun.
I've got a thought here because we live in the SEC where over the years, and not the SEC was the only one, the Big Ten, Pac-12, I mean, the Reggie Bush cases, Maurice Clare, whatever.
Right.
But I have a theory that the people that run the casinos and run the hotels may be sliding a little under the table money to the local TSA workers out there. You guys go ahead and show up. We'll take care of you.
Why would you not?
You'll take care of
Why would you
you.
not?
Yeah.
Well,
no TSA problems in Vegas. Come on out, man. We'll make sure you're getting in and out of Vegas's airport okay.
Well, I did my best as I went through the line in Birmingham to thank the TSA workers that were working.
Me too.
And as one of them told me, he's like, "Well, thank you, sir. I'm going to get paid for this day at some point." So I appreciate that attitude. Like, I'm eventually going to get paid for this. But you're right. If I'm the casino owners, if I'm MGM who owns half the buildings out here, I'm paying those TSA workers to stay on the job. That's the one. I want the world to think the Vegas airport's the easiest one to fly into right now.
Yeah, 100%. And I had the same experience as well. And I've got my Star ID now, so I may fly more just because I have it. It finally came in. All right, one more segment to go with Brownie. Matt Stahl in hour 2. Alex Mortensen, the new coach at UAB, in hour 2. Richard Hendrix talking more about Bama, who's in Chicago. Shoot-around happening this morning. Brian Passing will be on the show tomorrow to set the table for game day. Alabama plays 6:35 tomorrow night against Michigan. They are a 9.5-point underdog in their big game there. Aiden Holloway did not travel. That made news last night. Brown, were you expecting Aiden Holloway to travel to this game?
When it first happened, it wouldn't have surprised me if he had gotten his eligibility back for this game. But the longer that drug on, no, I had no anticipation. I'm talking about like even before the first 2 games. When this first thing happened, I'm like, yeah, if he's back if Bama is fortunate enough to make the Sweet 16 without him, if he's back for that, I'm not surprised. But no, I mean, this thing's moving at a glacial pace. I mean, there's no way I expected him to travel.
Yeah, but Nate Oats confirming he was not traveling with the Tide yesterday. Yeah. And Alabama will work out at the United Center today. We'll talk to Richard Hendrix about Alabama's matchup with Michigan later in the show. When we come back, though, one Georgia Bulldog great says Georgia can't win the quarterback with current Gunner Stockton. What David Pollack has to say, Brown's reaction to that, and a lot more on Sweet 16 Thursday on the show that's being brought to you today by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Your chance, hey, the Masters are coming up. We still have more basketball tournament. If you want to get that vasectomy, you can do that with our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. They offer so many services, testosterone shots. They've got that for you as well. Everything from prostate health to kidney stones and everything in between. Double-digit locations right here in Central Alabama for your convenience. Get all the details by calling 205-930-0920 or urologycentersalabama.com. More of the next round coming up.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park March 27th through 29th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst Experience. 3 days of high-speed action, featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
Catch up on all of today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does. Hell yeah, boys! NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
We'll get to 4 downs here in just a second. Let's talk a little bit about our friends at Kalshi before we jump into Kalshi and positions you can take in basketball tonight and all that. Tommy Lloyd mentioned for the North Carolina job. The Arizona coach says, I've got one of the best jobs right now. Doesn't want to talk about it. TJ Otzelberger is excited to be the coach of the Cyclones. He and his AD look like they are moving away from the North Carolina conversation, like they have a new contract ongoing. Warden Manuel says he's actively working to make sure Dusty May is the longtime coach of Michigan. So they're working on that. And then Billy Donovan did everything but say he was interested in the job last night. He did not shy away in his post-Chicago Bulls post-game press conference. It says he's focused on the Bulls right now, but he did not say no. So that's interesting. Our friends at Kalshi, you can take a position on who the next Carolina coach is going to be, actually. And do you have a betting favorite back there, Forrester? Is it Billy Donovan right now as far as at Kalshi?
We are really, really even here. Both Billy Donovan and Tommy Lloyd are around 26%.
Yeah, I think that's going to be I think it ends up being one of those guys, to be honest with you. As you can see, the long list. After that, you get the guy from Iowa State, Otzelberger, and then the others that are being mentioned for that job.
How about Mark Byington on this list?
Hey, Vandy, he's done a heck of a job there at Vandy. You can jump on at Kalshi. Remember, the promo code is TNR, and we appreciate you doing that. And you can take positions on anything from pop culture to politics and for sports fans. All the Sweet 16 games tonight and tomorrow night, you can take positions there. And I hope you're enjoying following your bracket along. For those of you that jumped in, use the promo code TNR and did the bracket challenge there, the $1 billion bracket challenge with Kalshi. Remember, go to Kalshi, take a position, enjoy that fun, and use the promo code TNR with our friends at Kalshi.
And real quick, you can play baseball too, Dunaway.
Yeah.
Our friends at Kalshi sent us something today. You can combo games. You can do pitching matchups, run lines, totals, player props, and they're all adjustable like everything else right there at Kalshi. We've learned that with them. So as baseball opens up, and a lot of people are excited about that, you can play that at Kalshi as well.
Yeah, I made a bet last night, and I was able to I took a position on the Yankees, and was able to cash out early, just a few dollars short of my full payout because I was giving the Yankees a run and a half, and when it was 5-0, I was like, I don't want San Francisco to backdoor me here.
Hey, can you guys believe that the Brewers are favored over my White Sox?
Wow.
I mean, it's hard to believe.
That is shocking.
I know, right?
Will there be a game this year where the White Sox on Kalshi will be a favor? I don't know.
I don't know if they've got, maybe they play the Cardinals.
Oh, is that a shot at the Cardinals?
They're going to be awful.
That's who Tampa Bay opens up with today. I'm glad to see that. No Braves today. They start their season tomorrow, but 11 games, I think, 11 more teams, 11 more games start today in Major League Baseball. 2 actually on main network NBC, and no games on main ESPN today. That's pretty odd. But 2 on main NBC, 1 in the afternoon and 1 in prime time if you're looking for baseball to watch today. Let's get to our 4 downs, brought to you by our friends at Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction. If you're looking for asphalt work done right the first time, call our friends at Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction, 205-349-0910. They are your full-service asphalt contractor, trusted on major state, government, and municipal roadway projects across Central Alabama, but they'll work for you as well, whether it's something on your farm, something on your property, a parking pad at your home, or just a new driveway. They'll do it all for you at Central Alabama Asphalt. Jump on and check them out, centralalabamaasphalt.com, centralalabamaasphalt.com, or call them 205-349-0910.
First down.
All right, baseball starting, Brownie. So I'll ask you, LA Dodgers are not to win the World Series, a three-peat or not?
It is impossible not to go Dodgers. Like, I don't even know, Dunaway, who you would make a case for that you would at least feel good about. Who would you make? You follow baseball much closer than me.
Mariners, Blue Jays, Yankees out of the American League.
And you feel good about that?
I would go Mariners of the 3. Crazy that we could have Seahawks, Mariners.
Hey, don't sleep on the Tigers.
Don't sleep on the Tigers, says Forrester on the back row. So
right there in his own division, he gets to see them a lot. I'm going to trust Scott. He sees a lot of good Tigers baseball against the White Sox.
Okay, hold your thought, Brownie. Forrester, give me your answer. Dodgers or not?
Oh, I think it's going to be the Dodgers, but I don't think it's a no-brainer.
Remember, it's a half a foot from being the was it the Blue Jays last year? Half a foot from being the Blue Jays as the world champions. So it wasn't almost.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It's just, I mean, the Dodgers, it's just top to. Eventually, somebody's got to beat them 4 out of 7, Jim.
Yeah.
And I know you say Mariners. Scott says Tigers.
Brooks,
I can't even think of.
Brooks have an answer? Brooks, you have an answer? Dodgers or not?
I'm going to say no, just because I think it's really hard to win 3 in a row. I mean, when's the last time that happened in baseball?
But when's the last time, Brooks, we've seen a team built like this?
Yeah,
I mean,
Yankees 98, 99, and 2000, I think is the answer.
I mean, that's the most reminiscent. That's exactly what I was thinking was the late 90s Yankees. So, I mean, I guess we've seen it. I mean, I think that the Lakers were doing that at the exact same time, too. So, I mean, maybe they will do it.
Yeah.
Second down.
So Brown is in on a Dodgers three-peat there.
Yes.
Yes. Which conference ends up winning the national championship in college basketball, in your opinion? I told you 6 Big Ten left, 4 SEC left.
I mean, I've picked. I want to stick with the Big 12, not the Pac-12 anymore, but the Big 12 with Arizona because that's who I picked. That's who I think is going to win it. So I'm going to stick with the Big 12.
Okay, Forster, which one for you? Which conference wins the basketball national championship?
Well, I think Arizona's going to win it, so I'll go Big 12.
Brooks?
I'm going to make it a clean sweep here of Big 12. I think if Arizona doesn't get it done, I think Houston with Kelvin Sampson might finally break through and get it done. I like their path a lot better now, too, with Florida being out of the bracket.
If Michigan survives Alabama.
Which you don't think they will.
Which I don't think they will. But if Michigan survives Alabama, I'm going to say it's the Big Ten or the ACC. I like Duke or Michigan. So.
Duke has been, how would you describe their play in this tournament so far?
They've been hurt. They've been hurt. They're getting healthy.
I know, but they were in a fight with Siena. I mean, that was
Shaky.
closer. Yeah, shaky is a great way, Scott. Shaky is a great way to describe it. I mean, they were awful in the first half of their round of 32 game. Just awful. And that's really 2 bad first halves in a row for them. So they've got to get off to better starts, Duke does.
Just pointing out that we're sticking to the brackets that we picked here. Dunaway has Duke, Michigan in the national championship.
Yep.
So
if I could go back, I would probably take Michigan over Duke. But
yeah. How are we looking in that, by the way? Can I get an update on that? It hasn't. I haven't seen
we'll
one.
finish 4 downs. We'll do a full update.
Okay.
We'll give you an update on our bracket in a second. Let's do 3rd down.
3rd down.
Do you expect Bill Self to return at Kansas or not, Brownie?
I do not. Boy, that was a heartbreaking loss against St. John's. How weird was it to get to the end of that game and they had only committed 2 fouls?
Yep.
I mean, I'm like, when they immediately fouled, I was watching on an airplane, first of all. So, you miss a few things and Wi-Fi sometimes glitches. So when they immediately fouled, what are you doing fouling? And then I'm like, oh my God, they've only got 2 fouls. And I thought he played that so perfectly. And St. John's kept inbounding it in the backcourt. And I'm like, man, Self has played this so perfectly. His team's fought to get back in it for him. And then boom, they just lose. Like, that's such a heartbreaking way to go out. He's missed so much time. Normally people would say that he would be frustrated with the way the game is played, or the way the game is recruited now. But Kansas is going to be one of those schools that will probably have the NIL they need to compete in that. Did you ask for a percentage or just a yes, no on that?
Just yes, no on Bill Self.
I'll go no. I don't think he comes back.
Boy, he seemed to be a little ornery when bad information got out yesterday that said he was retiring. People reached out to him and he said it was BS, not true.
You know what that tells me?
What?
That the coach that they've got targeted is still coaching.
Right.
I mean, he wants to keep that quiet out of respect to him. Now, I don't know who that would be. There's 16 guys still out there, but this is the Kansas job. A lot of guys would leave their current place to go to Kansas.
Let's do 4 downs.
4th down.
4th down, I should say. North Carolina started spring football yesterday, by the way, and Bill Belichick said Bobby Petrino's offense is going to remind a lot of people of the New England Patriots offense, the way the Patriots offense ran when Belichick was the coach. North Carolina, bowl game or not? Low bar. Bowl game or not for the Tar Heels?
Very low bar, as you said. I will go bowl game, yes. Let me go surprising. I don't have their schedule in front of me. How about a surprising 8-4 out of North Carolina?
Oh.
What about they surprise everybody and give a little 8-4? Not a great year, but bowl game with some room to spare.
Bowl game or not for you, Forrester and Brooks. Forrester, you first for North Carolina with Bobby Petrino as the OC.
Yeah, I'll go bowl game. I can't get to 8-4, but yeah, bowl game.
What about you, Brooks?
Yeah, I mean, it is a low bar. I think they can find 6 wins. I mean, he's not he didn't win 6 Super Bowls for no reason. So I think they can at least find it. If Dion could go 9-4 in year 2, I feel like Belichick can at least make a bowl game in year 2.
Good point.
Yeah, I agree.
Shador's not walking through those doors, though. That's our 4 downs. Brought to you by Central Alabama Asphalt. The show also today being brought to you by our friends at Johnston RV Center. Coming off of the road shows, Brownie, Johnston RV, every day I'm on their website or their social media accounts, and another couple or family has bought a new RV from Johnston RV Center.
Well, I mean, because their families want to go see America. And the best way to see America is in an RV from Johnston RV Center. As Jim said, that website there, johnstonrvcenter.com, johnstonrvcenter.com. You can also see them in person, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Birmingham. It's the place you go. Look right there at johnstonrvcenter.com. You can go ahead and look at their inventory before you even set foot on the property, and you got an idea of what they've got there. You can shop by price range. So, like, hey, I need to keep this thing under 50,000. Say, you can do that right there at Johnston RV. Or you're like, listen, man, we want to spend. We want to get one of these big motorhomes. You can do that by price range. You can even shop by model, the park model, fifth wheel, motorhomes, the toy haulers, all those things right there at Johnston RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and always online at johnstonrvcenter.com, where everything that is new and qualifying pre-owned is covered for life with a warranty from RV Warranty Forever. johnstonrvcenter.com, johnstonrvcenter.com. I think it was our buddy Nick Johnston that said, I look like Kramer in the episode where he's the Kenny Rogers Roasters open out next door?
Yeah. He said that in the chat?
I think it was Nick Johnston. I don't know if it was our buddy Nick Johnston for Johnston RV, but somebody said that in the chat. So there you go.
Like if you want to go ahead and throw your sunglasses on, I am totally okay. And don't worry about that shade over a little bit of your face. Don't worry about it. Everybody knows that. I like it when it's split down the middle. I like that. The split down the middle when we got good brown, bad brown. That's the way you travel in Vegas, man. There's a pristine brown that we all know in the sunlight, and then the shady brown out in Vegas there. One more football note before we update you on the bracket. David Pollock had a chance to make a comment on the Mac and Murray podcast. And David Pollock's a Georgia great. He's a really entertaining media guy. And he says the Gunner Stockton we saw last year isn't good enough to win a national championship for the Georgia Bulldogs. Here's David Pollock. Listen in.
If Gunner Stockton's the same quarterback he was a year ago, Georgia has no chance to win a natty. They have no chance. What you're talking about, yes, you saw that in spurts. I saw him grow. I saw him put more touch on the football instead of trying to throw it through everybody's chest, which he has a tendency to do. It's all fastballs. Like, I like some changeups. Another thing I saw him change arm angles without taking a big wind-up and throw, which I really, really like. Because the dude's got plenty of arm strength. To turn and flick it ain't no thing for him. So understanding that. But I think it's more personality-driven with Gunner Stockton than anything. He's a kid that doesn't want to mess up. He's a kid that wants to be perfect. Those are hard things, man, because life ain't perfect. Quarterback dang sure ain't perfect.
So he wants to be perfect, seems to be. I mean, he named like several things that Gunner Stockton is really good at and improving, but he can't win a natty if he's the same guy. Just one fact here, Georgia's 68% of returning production from last year, 8th in the country, 3rd in the SEC behind only South Carolina and Texas on returning production next year. I'm surprised about those comments. I thought Gunner Stockton was good enough at quarterback for Georgia to win a national championship.
And I think I would agree with you because I look at what Kirby has done historically, and look, maybe Stetson Bennett gets a little bit undervalued for his time at Georgia, which was championship level. But Kirby has consistently won a national championship with quarterbacks that sometimes would be viewed as glorified game managers. And here's the question I would ask. Can you do that in college football anymore? Because what won it for Kirby was he always, and it was the same thing with Nick Saban. Now, there were times where Saban was elite at quarterback. There were times he was not. But what Nick Saban always had was the better roster. And it was so easy to just roster whip people. You've got better players at every single position. But in this world of college football, and I think Indiana has shown us this, and they're always going to be the example, you can go out and build a roster easier than you once were able to do through traditional recruiting. So I do wonder if and is Gunner Stockton a game manager or not? I don't know. I think sometimes that's the way Monken's offense plays, is they force him to be a game manager, and that's offensive philosophy as much as anything. I just wonder if you can do that anymore. Can you win a national championship with a game manager? Because you are rarely going to find a situation like Georgia TCU ever again, where TCU just skates through. They were left standing at the end, so they end up playing for the national championship. They don't have anywhere close to the roster, even with a good quarterback that Georgia has.
Yeah, I was surprised by those comments because Gunner Stockton, to me, especially the one that brought Georgia back at Tennessee, and the guy we saw in the SEC championship game against Alabama, I thought that guy's good enough to win a national championship. But your point that they get conservative times, I think it's all play calling. I like Gunner Stockton at quarterback, and I think he is good enough. I'm more worried about the people around him than I am Gunner Stockton at quarterback. We'll talk some win totals maybe tomorrow. We'll save it for next week. Some are out early from our friends out in Vegas for the SEC and the Big Ten win totals, so we can get some of those next week when everybody's back together. Lance is back with us on Monday. Brown's back in studio tomorrow. One more thing before Brown hits the airport and the journey back with his beautiful wife, Jen, from sunny Las Vegas. After we tell you about our friends at Inverness Country Club, LT usually says, Brownie, you out there today? You're not out there today, Brownie. You out there tomorrow, Brownie?
Not tomorrow, but over the weekend, absolutely, I'll be out there. ICCalabama.com is the website you go to. Inverness Country Club. Erin is the lady you want to contact. She's a delightful person, first of all, so you're going to enjoy talking to her. But we want you to contact her and say, hey, I want to see more about Inverness and making it my club home in Birmingham. The best day start at Inverness, and it starts with that great clubhouse, which is just gorgeous. The tremendous food there. I eat lunch out there all the time at Inverness. And the course itself, fun to play. I'll tell you, it's made me a better golfer. I'm just going to say that up front. It's a course that, depending on which tee box you play, can be very demanding, and it's made me a better golfer. It's in great shape right now. I can't wait to get back out there this weekend and see how much more green has popped. It's just been popping with these warmer nights we've gotten. The pool is a resort-style pool. The tennis facility with a brand-new clubhouse. I mean, man, it is just one thing after another that I would say makes Inverness the best days happen there. All right, Inverness Country Club, ICCalabama.com to get in touch with Erin and schedule a tour so you can see more, ICCalabama.com.
And Erin's number straight to her, 205-991-8608, 991-8608 at Inverness Country Club. All right, bracket challenge standings where Brownie Forrester leads the way, 38-10 is his record. We don't have to worry about him, though. He's got his own challenge behind the glass. Brooks is second at 37-11, tied with you and Lance. Then 36-12 and me, and Tyler is eating hot dogs and drinking beer. Tyler, is that correct?
According to Brooks, there's still a way I can not lose. So I just need Arizona to be out because I've got Arkansas over Arizona.
So if Arizona loses, both of the guys on each side of the column, last place, Tyler and Jim, benefit tonight. So Suey Pig, right, buddy? Let's go Hogs. Let's go Hogs.
Sue Woo Piggy, as I believe LT said once.
Sue Woo Piggy. He's a great Korean golfer. Sue Woo Piggy.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Scott. It was Woo Sue Piggy.
WSP, is that how it is?
Yeah.
She's on the LPGA tour.
Woo Sue Piggy, yeah. But that's the updated bracket challenge standings, and you can don't forget to play the Shannara Showdown tonight, which is Arizona and Arkansas. You can go do that on our website, nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. Check out our social media platform all over the place, and you'll have links to the Shannara Showdown where you can make that happen tonight. All right, Brownie, safe travels to you. Tell lovely Jen we said hi. Did you do any pool, anything else other than...
No. I went to
did you see any Cirque
Hoover
du
Dam.
Soleil?
No, we did. We did not make Cirque du Soleil. We were going to try it last night, but our dinner reservation and the start times just didn't make sense for us.
Yeah.
I
Those
did see
start
Hoover
times are a
Dam
little
and-
too early than they should be. They should be a late dinner, later start time for those shows.
I agree. I did not like the way it worked out, but they've been doing this a long time. I assume they know.
Yeah.
Did go see Hoover Dam and the West Rim of the Grand Canyon, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's not that far of a drive. My last day golf course was 10 miles from the Hoover Dam. Canyon. I can't remember the name of it. Had canyon in it. Canyon Creek, maybe.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
It was a hard course. It had no rough, and so you ran out into natural area all the time.
Yeah, I've always wanted to play one of those. Always wanted to play one of those, but I've never been able to do it.
You get tired of hitting out of rocks, to be honest with you. All right, Brownie, travel safely. When we come back, Matt Stahl and Alex Mortensen is part of it. Matt Stahl with a fascinating story about how high school recruiting budgets dropped in the SEC for 10 of 15 public schools. No Vandy numbers. Matt joins us on the other side. He'll also talk pro day at Alabama and also a little Alabama basketball with me. The show being brought to you by our friends at lanceslock.com. Lanceslock.com. You can go play. He's got to play up tonight. At least one on the Sweet 16 games, maybe more. You got to go to lanceslock.com to find out. Always brought to you by the great folks at Hemp Hill Services, the name Birmingham's trusted since the 1950s. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or your business, they're ready to serve you. Contact them at 205-229-2090. Temperatures are heating up, so make sure you're ready to roll with our friends at Hemp Hill.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Looking for the ultimate weekend in Birmingham? The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix is back at Barber Motorsports Park, March 27th through 29th, bringing big energy, big crowds, and unforgettable moments. It's more than a race. It's a full day of excitement, family fun, food, music, and world-class competition, all set on one of the most beautiful venues in racing. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix at Barber Motorsports Park. Get your tickets now.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place, nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt, you can look your best by shopping with us at nextround.store. Take the Next Round anywhere with nextround.store. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Our Innisfree countdown to kickoff is at 156 days until week 0. Your game day tradition is Innisfree Irish Pub in Tuscaloosa and Lakeview. That Irish-inspired pub food with the signature Irish gold sauce and always a world-class atmosphere at Innisfree, especially on game days in Tuscaloosa. 156 until college football returns, but it never sleeps for my buddy Matt Stahl, AL.com. And Matt joins us now. Matt, man, thanks for taking the time to help me on a solo show here. For the next few minutes, let's talk about some of the stuff you've been working on. First off, I'd love, and I always tell you guys this, or I try to. I admire all of you guys who write for a living, because I've talked for a living for 30 years, and a lot of the people that talk for a living don't like to admit this, but without you guys doing your work, I don't know sometimes if we'd have enough stuff to talk about. You guys do some real journalistic work, and one of those was recruiting budgets in the SEC, and I was fascinated by the study you did there with the 15 public schools you were able to get records on at AL.com. Tell me what you found first off, just to jump into that and glaze over that. Were you surprised about your findings that some of the budgets had, some of the spending had dropped in the SEC?
Yeah, just across the board. I mean, first of all, thanks for having me. But yeah, across the board, SEC recruiting spending down millions of dollars in some cases. I think it surprised me on the outset, like when I first, ran them, because I'll just run columns on the spreadsheets next to each other and just like calculate. It's like, oh, that's down, and that's not what you expect out of SEC recruiting, especially having, grown up sort of in SEC territory where the budgets were just ballooning every single year. But I mean, if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. There's some things that are cheaper about portal recruiting where, you don't have to fly to the high school game on the PJ to do portal recruiting or evaluations. You just watch their game film in Tuscaloosa or wherever. So that cuts things down a little cheaper. And then the conversations on the official visits are different. Like you don't necessarily need like every candy bar in the hotel room for the portal editions or the cookie cake or whatever. It's more of a, all right, here's your role. Here's how much we can pay you. Let's make it work with the agents. It's a little less expensive process. So if you think about it for a second, I don't think it's all that surprising. But like, yeah, from the jump, it's like, whoa, SEC recruiting spending down.
Yeah, and Alabama in your story was one of those, and you can read Matt's story and all his work at AL.com. We always encourage that, both the video and the written word there at AL.com. Alabama's was down by $1 million, according to your report. Where does that million go? Does it go into NIL? Does it go into other places? In your opinion, where does that saving go, and what are you spending that money on?
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, your base assumption is that's going to the players now. Find its way into NIL or find its way into well, it wasn't. You couldn't revenue share during the fiscal year. It was weird with the forms this year because I FOIA all these forms, but a lot of my beat writer friends were reaching out to me as like they got the one from the school they cover. It's like it says $0 in revenue sharing payments. It's like, yeah, they put the revenue sharing like category on the form this year, but the fiscal year ended the day before revenue sharing was legal. So it didn't go into that. But yeah, you assume it goes into player compensation in some way or something else. But like, yeah, it's great. I mean, it went down by $1 million. Alabama's still second in the SEC behind Tennessee, both over $4 million. But last year both were over $5 million. So yeah, it's an interesting trend, and it's one I sort of wonder if you'll see it in some other categories too. I've not totally finished going through these forms yet.
Yeah, so more coming from Matt Stahl there at AL.com. He's on the Shannara hotline with us. You also had a chance to jump in at Pro Day yesterday. Of all the things I've done, I've never done Pro Day at Alabama, Auburn, anywhere. Never gone to cover a Pro Day. So those that have never been to a Pro Day, maybe you've seen it on the NFL Network now. What was it like yesterday? Set the scene for me. I know Ty Simpson was a big star, but other players are there. How many NFL personnel are there? How does it work?
Yeah, it's just a lot of drills. A lot of the stuff you see at the NFL Combine, they're just doing on the practice field indoors at Alabama. Guys running the 40. It was a little different than previous years, just because like the whole thing wasn't televised on NFL Network. So it seemed maybe a little more informal. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the drills, there's some NFL coach running it. Just guys running the 40. Then Ty Simpson throwing to receivers, whether some of them were like Jeremy Bernard, Josh Cuevas, like the guys who were trying to get drafted, and then I mean Noah Rogers and Ryan Coleman Williams, which I'm still getting used to saying, also was there. So yeah, a lot of that. From a media perspective, it's sort of difficult to, I guess, ascertain what you're seeing or totally understand it, because it's like a lot of the drills were pretty far away from where they were having us stand. So yeah, I'm not sure what I was able to take away from it as far as like, oh, this guy's going to be an NFL star for sure, or whatever. But it's also like, you know, how often is an offensive guard really going to run just straight 40 yards down the field? That's a trade. And the defensive line too. Like if Tim Keenan's running 40 yards in a straight line, something else is wrong with your NFL team.
Or
But
it went right for a block punt at Oklahoma or something, right?
yeah, something like that. Circumstances are odd if that's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really NFL Combine like, maybe like a little less just pomp and circumstance to go with it though.
Did you get a feeling from the people watching on Ty Simpson? And I don't know if you sit and whisper or listen in on conversations, but everywhere I watch on our 5 screens in studio here, Ty Simpson impressed at Pro Day. Did you get that feeling as well?
Yeah, absolutely. He looked sharp throwing the ball. Now, I mean, you're not throwing against any defense. That doesn't often happen in the NFL. But yeah, I mean, he was sharp. Was finding his guys. I think the Athletics said he completed 50 of 55 throws. There was some difficult stuff in there, like he said afterwards he was trying to make some tricky throws. So yeah, sounds like he's impressing some NFL teams. Sounds like the Jets really like him, according to a bunch of reports.
Yeah, and it's funny, we talk so much about Ty Simpson. That's the way it is. Quarterbacks. But I don't know how you feel, but watching Jeremy Bernard over the couple of years he was in Tuscaloosa, it feels like, at least from my point of view, he has a place in the NFL that he'll, get drafted by somebody and stick on a roster. What do you think of Bernard as, 2 years of seeing him in Crimson and White as a leader and as a player? Do you think he finds his way into the NFL and has a successful career?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm not really like dug super into the mock drafts on him, but I mean, he's just great at getting open, right? And that's something that'll have you sticking around the NFL for a long time. He's great at that. I think he's faster than he gets credit for too. Like he's tricky to cover. And I mean, this is just, I don't know, it's personally selfish, I guess, but you'd like to see him do well. Like we loved dealing with him just as Alabama media members. He's always great to talk to. Always, and I know inside the building, like just a great leader for Alabama. Sort of he's never going to cause you any trouble. So yeah, I could for sure see him like sticking in the NFL for a long time.
We'll talk a little Alabama basketball and some more things with Matt here in just a second. A reminder that NASCAR returning to Talladega on April the 26th. The Jack Links 500's back in town. You can get your tickets, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Don't forget to increase your experience with the garage experience, the immersive garage experience. The excitement, the high banks, the speed of Talladega, all coming back April 24th through April 26th. Jack Links 500. Get your tickets, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. So let's see. We've had recruiting. We've had football, pro days. Spring football is still ongoing. And then there's the basketball team who's back in the Sweet 16 again. I see you at a lot of basketball games. I was surprised that it was a big deal that Aiden Holloway did not travel yesterday. That made some headlines, John Rothstein and others. I never thought Holloway would make this trip. I thought that would already been put to bed. Was there still any hope you thought Holloway would make this trip to Chicago? I didn't think he was going to make this trip.
Yeah, no, well, yesterday I didn't think he was going to make it. Probably last week I assumed he would. There's a couple things that have to happen, right, to get him back on the court. Well, first of all, like, if Nate wants to play him. Although I've not seen any indication from Nate Oats that, like, if he can get Holloway on the court, he'd keep him off for some sort of moral opposition to marijuana or whatever. But yeah, he's got to go through UA Office of Student Conduct, get cleared by them. Then he has to go get court permission to leave the state of Alabama, which is a condition of his bond. So no, I'm not surprised by it. Is there a world where, if they beat Michigan, you could see him like later on in the tournament because he clears all the hurdles. Yes, but like, nah, I don't think it's real surprising that he's gonna miss probably this whole weekend.
Yeah, they seem, though, you look at the Texas Tech game, Matt, they seem to, with Wrightsell getting more playing time, he's a better defender than Holloway is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Latrell, I mean, he just has so much experience at this level. He was injured for most of the postseason, or for all the postseason, the Final Four year. But he's like the last guy remaining from that team. He's been here before, and yeah, he knows what it takes on the defensive end. He's always given effort, and especially. I mean, I think this will be a key to the Michigan game. His threes were falling, and yeah, if that happens again, he could be he could be big in this Michigan game as well. Although, I mean, that's a much trickier opponent than Texas Tech is, I think.
Yeah, Texas Tech not at full strength, and now Michigan, for the most part, at full strength in that game coming up tomorrow night. Nick Kelly, who's on the show yesterday, up in Chicago for our friends at AL.com, and Matt holding everything down on campus with the pro days and Alabama football, spring football, and all of that. Matt, before you go, you're a big Nashville guy, right? That's hometown for you, right?
That is home, yes.
Yeah. Are you excited about where the Titans' new uniforms and where they're going with that franchise? Are you a Titans guy, or did you grow up a fan of a different team?
So I'm the worst kind of fan in that I have two teams.
Yeah.
The Titans, yes, because I grew up there. I mean, there were some fun like teams when I was growing up. Although I sort of miss the like glory years of the like Steve McNair era, but like I have fond memories of like Vince Young and Chris Johnson and them. But yeah, then the Packers are like the family team, so cheer for them as well. But I think I have a different take on those uniforms than most people. Like I can acknowledge they're very nice uniforms, but like they're a nostalgia play for something I'm not nostalgic for.
Oh,
Right? Like
yeah.
it's like I don't remember the Houston Oilers. I don't remember the Tennessee Oilers. Like the teams I'd be nostalgic for are like, Steve McNair, Drew Bennett teams, stuff like that. So it feels like it's a nostalgia play for people who aren't from Nashville. So probably mixed feelings on that one.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's almost a nod to the rest of the league, other 31 teams, that, hey, here's the Oiler uniforms you love so much, and we're going to make them our main uniform now and redesign the Titans logo a little bit to get the 3 stars in it. And I see what you're saying. I understand that's not, as a Nashville fan, that's not who I grew up cheering for. I was not a Houston Oilers fan. That's an interesting take. I appreciate that. I didn't love the old Tennessee Titans uniform, though. So as a Buccaneer fan, a guy who just watches the NFL, I'm glad to have that eyesore off of my screen a little bit. I was not a fan.
I will say the last set of Titans uniforms was awful.
Yes.
Like the blue helmet, the like horrible looking. Yeah, that was a bad look. And frankly, like the original set with the white helmets, like they were really good right up until Nike started making them, and then their like templates and stuff just looked bad.
Yeah.
So like it's good that there's some change on that. I'm sure eventually people will get nostalgic for like the Steve McNair era uniforms.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting situation there. And it also seems like maybe the new stuff is sort of a ownership getting a little pissed off at the Houston Texans for trying to like get in on the Oilers colors a little bit.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. I'll be intrigued to see them on the field too.
Yeah, see how they look on game day. Matt, man, I appreciate it. I call on a lot of people when I'm solo like this, and I appreciate you and Nick the past 2 days, the AL.com team helping me out a little bit. And I always appreciate you guys being nice to me on Media Row, so thank you.
Oh, anytime. Thanks for having me.
All right. That's Matt Stahl, AL.com. Go check that story out. It's fascinating to me about the decline in recruiting spending this past year by $1 million for Alabama, though Tennessee and Alabama, as Matt reports, still the 2 biggest spenders in the SEC. And if you're wondering, it's Tennessee, Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas, and Texas A&M, the 5 biggest spenders in the SEC. But total spending for the 15 schools that reported to Matt, the public schools, a 10% decline than it was the year before. So 10% off the top. And as Matt said, most people assume that 10% that you're not spending on high school recruiting is being spent on the NIL side to either retain roster or portal people that you pay for to get to fill the holes on your roster. It's a fascinating read right there. Matt Stahl, AL.com. Show today being brought to you by our friends at Crane U. We'll get back to basketball and setting the table in just a second, but our friends at Crane U want to set you up with a career change if you're ready to do that now. If you're looking for a new career or need further training to advance your current one, our friends at Crane U offer comprehensive, state-of-the-art, fully stocked training facilities for mobile cranes, overhead lifts, or forklift training. You want to use your own equipment? The team at Crane U will come to you. On-site and on-location training offered nationwide. Make your job easier and your job site safer with our friends at Crane U. They also offer certification and safety inspections to ensure the safest environment possible. Classes available monthly, craneu.com, craneu.com, and you get 10% off when you mention the next round at craneu.com. We appreciate them being along for the ride today. Viewing menu in just a second, but if you will give me cut number 9, Tyler, that is Illinois head coach Brad Underwood. Part of the Sweet 16 tonight, Texas-Purdue at 6:10, Iowa-Nebraska at 6:30, Arkansas-Arizona at 8:45, and 9:05 is Illinois in Houston. That's Illinois playing Houston in Houston. And here's Brad Underwood on having to play the Cougars virtually on their home floor.
Do you have any issues with the fairness of playing a team that's basically playing a home game in this tournament?
You know, I've been asked that before, and I'll be honest, I could care less. And I'm gonna sound really kind of selfish here. I'm an old JUCO ball coach. I drove on 16 passenger vans. I drove from Dodge City, Kansas to Mesa, Arizona for a basketball game, for a tournament in a bus. You had told me back then that I'm getting to coach basketball in the Sweet 16 and play Houston. I would sign up for it. I would crawl to get there. If we want to beat them, no matter where we play them, we'd have to play great. Guess what? We're going to have to do that tomorrow. And I think they're going to have to play well if they want a chance to beat us. And so we've won on the road. We've been pretty successful doing that in the Big Ten. So I don't pay too much attention to it. I'm just grateful for the opportunity, and you know, playing Houston's a challenge enough. It doesn't matter where.
That 8:45, 9 o'clock window could be fun. Chance for a couple upsets there. Arkansas, Arizona, Illinois, Houston. Houston and Arkansas the favorites, and Illinois can score a lot of points. Alabama beat them up in Chicago, and it's sort of the same scenario that Illinois is having to face now, playing Houston, not on their home floor, but at the Rockets Arena there in Houston. Should be a fun night of basketball in the Sweet 16. Auburn won last night in the NIT. They beat Nevada 75-69. Jovic at 18 points and 9 rebounds. They're off to the NIT Final Four in Indianapolis. Illinois State is up next as they play them. Auburn does 8:30 coming up on Thursday night. Alex Mortensen is the head coach of UAB. He'll be on the show in the next segment, but right now it is time for the Michelson Laser Vision viewing menu that Tyler has for us today. Our friends at Michelson, a great opportunity for you to jump in and check out your eyesight and see if you're available for a laser eye surgery. The folks at Michelson have been doing it a long time, and you can check them out by calling 205-969-8100 to see if you're a candidate with Dr. Mark Michelson and the great folks at MichelsonLaserVision.com. MichelsonLaserVision.com. Tyler, what are you watching tonight, man?
Well, we've got a couple new releases tonight. First off, a revenge horror kind of movie called They Will Kill You, where a woman answers a cryptic ad for a housekeeping job at a luxurious yet foreboding New York City high-rise, and upon arrival, she discovers residents have vanished without a trace for decades, fueling whispers of a cult lurking in the shadows. In addition to Zazie Beetz, who is best known for her role in Joker, it also stars Tom Felton, best known as Draco Malfoy from the Harry Potter franchise, and Heather Graham.
Oh, big Heather Graham fan. I like her.
Yep, she's great. Next up, another new release. It's a documentary called The AI Doc, or How I Became an Apocalyptimist. Yeah, so this is told from the perspective of filmmaker Daniel Roher as he prepares to become a father, and the film investigates the existential threats and potential promises of artificial intelligence. Rower conducts interviews with leading experts in the field to understand the world his child will inherit, balancing anxiety with apocalypticism. So just trying to be more optimistic on the potential that AI will destroy the world. And there are a lot of interviews with people from these top AI companies.
Being positive about the end of the world doesn't seem possible.
Well, it's more like, how can we proceed with AI in a meaningful way, cautiously, and knowing the risks? But if you're not looking for anything dark or serious tonight, Netflix has added the Anaconda remake to its catalog, starring Jack Black and Paul Rudd. They're two dumb friends who try to remake the original Anaconda movie, but with a shoestring budget. So they go out to the Amazon forest and lose their snake, only to encounter a real anaconda. And it's dumb fun. So if you're looking to kill an hour and a half and just have some laughs, I recommend Anaconda.
Have they done two of those now?
No, this is a remake of the one in 1997.
Okay. All right. That's what Tyler is watching tonight. Of course, a full night of the Sweet 16 happening in baseball on NBC and on the MLB TV network, which you get through the ESPN platforms. Braves start their season tomorrow. The next segment includes Alex Mortensen, new head coach at UAB, first full season after taking over as the interim. We'll update them on their spring game and spring practices so far. So we'll talk to Coach Mort coming up on the other side. The show being brought to you today by our friends at Central State Bank. Let's let Brownie tell us more about Central State Bank, if you will, Tyler.
Bank, a bank that doesn't just open accounts, they open relationships. They are family-owned, community-focused, and built on trust. For more than 100 years, they've been doing this, serving all of central Alabama, counties like Shelby County and Tallapoosa County with local decisions and personal service that feels like home. So whether you're starting a business, buying a car, or planning for tomorrow, Central State Bank with you every step of the way. Central State Bank, rooted in community, driven by relationships, member FDIC.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park March 27th through 29th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst Experience. 3 days of high-speed action featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
Think about the best summer nights of your life. How many of those were in a great t-shirt? Visit nextround.store to get the perfect t-shirt for the next perfect southern night. Nextround.store. The memories are waiting.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does. Hell yeah, boys! NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Back with you on the Next Round. We'll talk to Alex Mortensen coming up in just a second, UAB's head coach. A couple other college football notes to tell you about before we head down to UAB. Show today, though, being brought to you by our friends at Odie's, where you can get by and enjoy a great lunch or dinner. Trivia last night at Odie's. But that unbelievable Odie's burger that has been around for ages is still there. It's delicious. The best ranch in town. They make it on site. It's unbelievable with the chicken fingers, the fries, all the great food and drink with our neighborhood pub at Odie's, both there in Homewood and in Crestline and Mountain Brook. Go by and see our friends at Odie's. It's great to watch opening day baseball or the Masters coming up with our friends there at Odie's. Arch Manning is throwing at practice. Steve Sarkisian saying that yesterday as he continues to throw more. No contact for Arch this spring, but he is recovering from his offseason surgery. And right now he is on pace to keep things rolling in a very good direction. So that's a positive news if you're a Texas fan. Tyler, if you'll give me cut number 3, Zabian Brown is the head coach. Zabian Brown is the DB over at Alabama. And I was just mentioning Sendarian Morgan, the freshman wide receiver yesterday on the show, making big plays. And you got Ryan Coleman-Williams, added name and maybe added production this year. Latsir Brooks, that Alabama receiving core looking good. Just listen to Xavier Brown tell you about the Tide receivers.
Absolutely. I mean, really, our whole receiver room, they're deep. We got guys, they got a lot of tools in their bag. And they bring their hundreds to practice every day, so they make us better, to make us work, compete, and I feel like that's what being Alabama is all about.
That competition in the secondary is good again over in Tuscaloosa as they continue spring drills as well. Very quick decision for the starting quarterback at Missouri as Eli Drinkwitz named Austin Simmons the starting QB yesterday. Simmons won the job at Ole Miss for Lane Kiffin, and then because of injury ended up losing the job to Trinidad Chambliss. So Austin Simmons now will be the next quarterback, at least right now, QB1 for the Missouri Tigers as they continue going through their spring drills there. And then there's our buddy Jon Sumrall, cut number 5, as spring drills are cranking up down at Florida. Jon Sumrall had said that he was going to skip the trip to celebrate his anniversary to Italy. And some people maybe gave him a hard time about canceling a trip that his wife wanted to go on. So Jon Sumrall, head coach at Florida, had to clear the air.
And to make sure I do address this, my trip going to Italy getting canceled was not just my decision. Okay, my wife, I call a little shit over that. All right, my wife, she's all in. She's a football coach. She's a better head coach's wife than I am a head coach, and she actually, when I went through the process of deciding to take this job, she was the one who was like, hey, that Italy trip, that's not going to work. You're going to have like plenty to do. We're going to have to figure out how to move and all that stuff. So I want that publicly out there that was not me being a bad husband. Yeah, that was really her fault. All right, so. You'll go to Italy, is what you're saying. Yeah, at some point. We went to Naples, Florida. Yeah, it was nice. We went to Venice, Florida. We substituted some of the Italian cities for some of the Florida cities. So,
well played by Sumrall there, and his wife and that Italian trip. That's still bucket list for me. That's where I want to go on a vacation. Take Maggie to Italy at some point, maybe next year. Maybe I need to stop going on these golfing trips and save money that way, and actually take my wife somewhere instead of going with a bunch of guys to Las Vegas like I did last week. But good for Jon Sumrall as the Gators heat up in spring drills. A little bit more from the college football circuit after I remind you the show being brought to you today by our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. I stopped by and saw Leslie and her team yesterday. Said hi to them as they were enjoying a little spring break. She's got a senior in high school, and a little spring break yesterday, and Way to Wellness. I was telling them, I said, man, it's about to be that time where you got to get that shirt off at the beach or the lake or the pool. And she says she hears it all the time with people coming in there to jumpstart their weight loss. You can do it too. It actually works, man. I've been doing it for years. Planforme.com. Injection therapy, meal replacement, protein bars to prevent bad snacking. They've got it all for you right there at Way to Wellness. And there's no contract. There's no sign-up fee. And the first consultation is absolutely free. Planforme.com. It is our friends at Way to Wellness bringing you part of the next round today. 156 days away from the start of a new season, but this new season is not going to have an old familiar face. TJ Finley is not going to play at Incarnate Word this year. He declared yesterday for the NFL. If I can get Brooks and Forrester's microphones, I've got 6 teams he actually suited up and played for. Can you guys name all 6 of them without looking? Just call them out.
Do we want to alternate possessions here? Or,
okay, yeah. We'll start with you, Forrester, and then Brooks, and alternate back and forth. See if y'all miss one.
Okay, LSU.
LSU was his first stop. So
I'm going to see if we can go in order then.
Okay.
Auburn.
Auburn is next. That's right.
Texas State
was next. That's right.
Western Kentucky.
That is next. That's 4 for 4.
Tulane.
Tulane is right. That's 5. The last one was?
Georgia State.
Georgia State, yeah. So then, LSU, Auburn, Texas State, Western Kentucky, Tulane, and Georgia State.
And he never actually suited up at Tulane. He was dismissed from the team before then. So.
Yep. Did a little practice, though, with him, right? He wore the uniform at some point, didn't he?
Well, and I think he at least went through a few practices with Incarnate Word, too, before declaring for the draft, because they're in spring ball right now. So
yeah, it's crazy that you can go to that many schools. I wonder if there's any teacher that remembers TJ Finley. Not a coach, but any teacher that remembers, oh, yeah, TJ was a great student, great person. 6 schools. 7 if you count Incarnate Word, that at least got some practice time in. But he's going to the NFL. We'll see if he ends up hooking on with a roster or if he ends up maybe jumping in with a UFL team at some point. By the way, UFL starts this weekend. Stallions play Friday night on Maine Fox, A.J. McCarron and company, and then games on ESPN Saturday and Sunday. A couple of games before the Stallions open up the home season there. So that was interesting to see TJ Finley jumping and becoming a pro yesterday in the National Football League in the NFL. I'll tell you what we're going to do here. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back on the other side so we got maximum time with Coach Mortensen. So, Tyler, if we can, let's head to break here and tell you about our friends at Indy as we get ready for Barber Motorsports to crank back up again with the Indy cars coming to town. Brownie, tell us about those.
Birmingham's fastest party is returning to Barber Motorsports Park this weekend. The Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst. It is 3 days of high-speed action featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, fan zone, and more. And good news, kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now for the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Looking for the ultimate weekend in Birmingham? The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix is back at Barber Motorsports Park, March 27th through 29th, bringing big energy, big crowds, and unforgettable moments. It's more than a race. It's a full day of excitement, family fun, food, music, and world-class competition, all set on one of the most beautiful venues in racing. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix at Barber Motorsports Park. Get your tickets now.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place. NextRound.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt. You can look your best by shopping with us at NextRound.store. Take the next round anywhere with NextRound.store.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
One of the more popular hires in college football this past year was Alex Mortensen being hired at UAB. He's been around the block even at a young age in college football circles for a long time, and now he's the head coach, permanent head coach at UAB, and he joins us now live on the Next Round. Coach, welcome in, and I know it's a busy time for you, spring football going on and pro day today. You had a chance to dip down there and look at the guys during pro day and sort of cheer them on for a second?
Yeah, we did for a little bit. We had our current team in this morning, so we've been spending time with them, but we did get to I did get to pop down there a little bit and support our guys that are going, so that which was good. It was good to see them.
Back when I did the Coach Saban show and then was around Alabama all those years, you were around Alabama for years and years. I would imagine you learn a lot in that situation about culture and building a culture. So at UAB, as you take over the program there, how important is it for you to put your own stamp when it comes to culture in the off season, leading into a new season in spring ball? How important is culture to you?
I think it's really important, and the word culture is, it's getting thrown around a lot, and maybe to a degree sometimes it feels like it's overused, but I think it is really critical, and it's probably it's critical every year, but I think you almost have to take the mindset you're going to have to, whether you're a new coach or whether you're in your 20th season at a place. With the roster turnover, I almost think you have to take the approach you're going to reestablish it every season now, because there are so many new players, and you hope you have a nucleus that kind of embodies it, and then the new players come in and assimilate into it. But nevertheless, I think there's got to be a reestablishment that takes place. So it's really important for us to do that. And when we knew we were going to have a lot of new guys, their feet were going to hit the floor in Birmingham in January, and it was very, very important for us to try to establish that right away and, set the tone on, what our expectations were for them, one, off the field, as students, and then two, on the field with us as athletes, and the job they're going to do, in football. And, initially we go on the road and recruit for a few weeks when they first get here. So a lot of that started in the weight room with our strength coach, Lyle Henley, and the expectations and standards he sets. And each new phase we go into, whether that was the off-season phase, whether that was kind of our winter morning conditioning, or whether that was, starting spring football about a week ago, each phase we feel like it's really important to, start the right way and kind of set a precedent for how we expect to do things, because it's our first time doing it together.
You had a reputation in Tuscaloosa, and you probably know this, but of a guy who watched so much film. Like you watch so much film. Can you remember a day you did not watch one piece of tape? Like yesterday, did you watch tape? Is there a day you can remember recently that you did not watch one piece of video?
Well, I love football, and it's, to me, it's a fun game. It's a game that's always intrigued me. So a lot of it doesn't feel like work to me. So I do watch a lot of video, and my time in Tuscaloosa with Coach Saban was incredibly beneficial, and I'm very grateful to have had it. And I learned a lot there, one, in a lot of areas that you just mentioned, your first question to me about culture, and then two, also on the schematic, the XOs, teaching progression, all those things were really great for me. And then to answer that question, I try in the off season to take one day a week where I step away, so 1 in 7 days, I try to make an effort to just kind of step away from football or step away from watching video as much as possible, which is a challenge for me because I love it. But so yeah, I think last Sunday I took a breather from the video.
So no film on Sunday this past week. At least one day a week. That's really good. I like that. I'd mentioned how popular your hire was around all of college football because you have such a great reputation. And then I think you turned heads again when you were able to get Todd Grantham on your coaching staff. What does Todd bring? I mean, he's got a lot of experience. What else does he bring to the staff there?
Yeah, look, Todd brings a lot of experience. He's a coaching veteran. He's been a lot of different places in college football and pro football. So I think his experience is valuable. Todd has got really good energy. He's passionate about the game of football. He's a passionate teacher. He's very demanding of our players and I think of all the people around him. So that raises everyone's level. And so it's been fun to have his energy at practice. And, really in some ways, he gets the defense to compete. I think that helps the offense compete to a higher level. And then I think when you've, coached as long as he has, he's seen a lot. So a lot of coaching can be problem solving. So as you encounter new problems every week, I think he's got, a good gamut of experience to pull from where he can say, okay, I've dealt with this in the past. Here are some potential solutions. So, we've really enjoyed having Todd here and really excited to go into the season with him.
As an offensive mind, do you pick a style of defense when you're hiring your first defensive coordinator for a style that bothers your offense, that you're like, man, his style of defense has always been a struggle for me, or I've seen it work against a lot of really good offenses. So that's why I want Todd Grantham's style. Did you particularly hire him for his experience or his style of defense, X and O wise?
Well, a little bit of both. We've coached against him before, multiple times, and it's always been a challenge to get ready to play against him. I think he presents a lot of issues for offenses. But, and I'd also worked with him for a year at Alabama too, so I got to know him personally a little bit too in 2022. But I think right now, when you are dealing with the possibilities of roster turnover at a high rate every year, I think one of the words that's kind of important to me is flexibility. And you would like to have a system, and you'd like to be able to recruit players to a system and say, hey, we know what we want in a jack linebacker. We know what we want in a defensive end or a nose or a safety. And we want, here are the critical factors and the height and weight and speed parameters, because these are the things we want to do systematically. But at the same time, maybe you have the best player may not fit those parameters, and you take the best player you can get. And so if you have some schematic flexibility and you have enough knowledge to be able to adapt to the guys that are there, I think that can be really valuable. I mean, I look at even on offense, our years at Alabama, I'll give you 4 quarterbacks we had a chance to work with: Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, Bryce Young. All those guys are great college players, and they're all different, right? And so we adapted that offense to who they were every year. And then, we would adapt to who the receivers were, who the offensive line was. So, yeah, there's a system, but we want to have some flexibility. That's one thing that attracted me to Coach Grantham. And I think when you're talking about hiring a defensive coordinator, is I think you've got to have the flexibility to say, hey, you know what, this year we're a little better suited to play 3 down. Maybe one year we're more suited to play 4 down. Maybe one year we're more suited to play tightly matched coverage. One year, maybe we need to spot drop a little bit more. So having the ability to adapt to the group, I think, is probably more important than it's ever been, because you're not just recruiting to a system that you can ensure that guys are going to be in for 4 or 5 years.
Alex Mortensen, the head coach of UAB, for a few more moments on the Shannara hotline here. Speaking of quarterback development, tell us about Ryder Burton. Not to say it's his job or anything, but I know Ryder Burton is a guy that's progressing in your schemes right now. How's he doing?
Ryder's doing very well. We're really excited about having Ryder here. We recruited him, last year, and was, glad to, get him on our roster. And, he's a really hardworking, smart guy. He's very likable. He's a really good leader, affects his teammates really positively. And, we feel like he's earned the right to go out first, based on his performance last year. And, he's off to a really good start this spring. We still have plenty of work to do, but we're excited about having him back. And, he had some good moments last year. I think a lot of people saw him. We played Memphis, which, was our 7th game of the season. It was my first game as a head coach, and it was Ryder's first game to start. And, he played really well. I think he went 20-27 and threw 3 touchdowns and knocked off a top 25 team. So we feel like there's a lot there to work with. And, he's a guy that does have really good physical traits. He's got a live arm. He's probably a better athlete than you realize. But he also is got very, very good intangible traits and very good mental traits. He's very, very intelligent, and he's a student of the game. So we're really, really excited about working with him and feel like we can he gives us a lot of offensive flexibility. And I think he's a guy, too, that can get you right. You always want quarterbacks that can make good post-snap decisions and have good instincts and decision-making post-snap. But I also think he's got the intellect to do a lot of things pre-snap, too, to get you in the right play, or make sure you're protecting the right people, or getting the runs identified to the right people. So he brings a lot of value to us.
September 12th is the home opener against Law Monroe. You can get season tickets at uabsports.com, uabsports.com. But Illinois is your first game on the road in Champaign. You like a name brand opening game like that to work in the offseason? I would imagine that fires the guys up a little bit, knowing that Illinois is the first opportunity out there.
Right now, I mean, we do, everyone is obviously aware of our schedule, but we really are. This may sound a bit on the cliche side, but we're focused on, developing and getting better right now and competing against each other in practice and working against each other. So, at some point we'll obviously get focused on our opponents, but one thing Coach Saban used to say a lot of times is sometimes it's not your job to judge. And so for me, and all of us, it's not our job to really judge whether, who we're playing the first game, whether we want to play a conference game or a non-conference game. We're going to adapt to whatever the schedule is. And we are certainly excited, about our opening game. But, right now it's, we're really focused on just developing our team this spring and also evaluating too. I think evaluating right now is a big deal because we have a lot of the players that are back. A lot of those guys have gotten better and they've grown and they've developed. And then again, having approximately 40 new players on our roster, we're still learning a lot about them. We evaluated them in the recruiting process, but some of them, we're learning, hey, this guy, we thought he's an outside receiver. Maybe he should play inside. This guy felt like a tackle. Maybe he should play guard. So there's a lot of evaluating going on first before we can even really kind of think about the specificities of, how we're going to take on some of our opponents.
It's a new world. How much in an ideal situation would you like to focus on high school recruiting and how much on the portal? In a situation like you're at UAB, are you trying to go 50-50 or how are you breaking that down, high school recruiting and portal?
It's a great question. We want to recruit more high school players than we have, and especially than we did last year. I'm not going to put a hard number or a percentage on it because I do think every year is different. But we feel like the recruiting radius around here, if you take the 5-hour radius around Birmingham, we think there's a lot of really good high school football players, good high school coaching. And so we think we can build a nucleus from that. And then, yes, we will still take players out of the portal. And we also like taking some young players out of the portal, too, because it gives you the possibility of working with them for a longer period of time and being able to develop them. But I can tell you that if you were to say, look at the makeup of the 40-something guys that we just added to our roster in the future, we'd like to tilt that percentage a bit heavier to high school than we have, because I do think it gives you the opportunity. One, I'd mentioned the talent level in the area. And then two, I think it gives you the opportunity to maybe work with them a little bit longer and develop them in your system.
Yeah. Before you go, you sound so busy and everything. Have you taken a moment to enjoy the fact that you got the head coaching job and this is your first one and it's at a pretty special place?
Yeah. Look, I will say, I mean, there is a lot of work, but work is a good thing. I enjoy working and it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, I really have enjoyed the job. One, I'm grateful to have it. I'm incredibly grateful. It's something I don't take for granted. I think it's an awesome job. I love UAB. I'm really excited about being here. I love the city of Birmingham and the state of Alabama, and really, I grew up in Georgia. My mom's from the state, so being here really is pretty neat. We got a great institution, university. Dr. Watts has been incredibly supportive, Mark Ingram. So, being here is something I'm really excited about and very grateful to be here. So, yes, I'm really enjoying every day on the job. It's been a blast.
Well, we enjoy you being at that job, and I would imagine the attendance will reflect that this upcoming season. A lot of UAB folks excited for the Alex Mortensen era, man. Thank you for your time. I know you're busy, but I appreciate it so much. We wanted to catch up with you. And Ryan Brown, who's not here, he's coming back from Las Vegas, told me to tell you hi as well. I know you know Ryan as well, and we'll be cheering for you, Coach, okay?
Well, hey, thank you very much for having me on.
No problem, buddy. Have a good one. That's Alex Mortensen, head coach at UAB, right in the middle of their spring and their pro day today down there. And we appreciate Alex being on with us on the Shannara hotline and him getting UAB back to where a lot of UAB fans expect them to be now. Expectations that dipped under Trent Dilfer, and now Alex Mortensen is going to bring UAB back to glory. We'll talk to Richard Hendrix coming up in our next segment. Alabama basketball in Chicago with a shoot-around. Richard will break down all four of the SEC teams coming up on the other side. Before we head to break, though, I do want to remind you the show being brought to you by our friends at NASCAR Racing. You can get your tickets to the Jacklings 500. Right now, all you have to do is go online to TalladagaSuperspeedway.com, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com, or call 877-GO-TO-DAGA. 877-462-3342. And you can buy your tickets. And don't forget the Garage Experience, the most immersive garage experience in NASCAR, featuring access to the NASCAR Cup Series Garage Bay viewing areas, pre-race ceremonies, the driver Q&As, and, of course, Mobile One Victory Lane. It's all right there. Part of your ticket when you get the Garage Experience. Jack Link's 500, April 26th. Get your ticket, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys, the place to go, Shannara.com. Shannara.com, you do not pay a dime unless they win your case, and boy, do they win cases. Alexander Shannara trial attorneys, they have recovered more than $2 billion for their clients by following just a couple of simple things. It's Alexander's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. That's how you recover $2 billion for your clients. So if you find yourself in any sort of legal issue, Alexander Shannara is the place you go. Shannara.com. Shannara.com. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case. Keep your eyes out for the Shannara Showdown, returning Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, one game a day. And every single day we'll have qualifiers. You're in the drawing for the grand prize: a bottle of Pappy, a $1,000 gift card, a $500 gift card, $250 gift card. We're paying 4 places there. Our guy, Alexander Shannara, very, very generous. All you do is pick a game against the point spread. We'll have it up every single Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday through the tournament, and you can play the Shannara Showdown, your chance to win. But when you find yourself in need of an attorney, Alexander Shannara trial attorneys. Shannara.com. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case at Shannara.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shannara, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Looking for the ultimate weekend in Birmingham? The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix is back at Barber Motorsports Park, March 27th through 29th, bringing big energy, big crowds, and unforgettable moments. It's more than a race. It's a full day of excitement, family fun, food, music, and world-class competition, all set on one of the most beautiful venues in racing. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix at Barber Motorsports Park. Get your tickets now.
Catch up on all today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice: Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations: Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531.
Hey, there's nothing
3531.
worse than
It's
waking
Storm
up to a
Restoration
plumbing
Roofing.
problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Final hour of the show brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and see Sterling and the crew. Always enjoy stopping by and seeing him at that location he's had for over a decade for the best Southern fried chicken, brined overnight, cooked to order. The in-house made sides and desserts. And don't forget the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. So good for lunch. And you can take them home and watch the games. That's what I'll be doing tonight. Richard Hendrix joins us now, the ESPN SEC Network analyst, to talk a little basketball. Sweet 16 time. Richard, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Which team surprises you the most that they're still playing of all the 16 teams? Which one shocks you the most they're still out there?
Well, probably I'd have to say Texas, the team that's been able to figure it out. And it's not because they have a lack of talent. This is a team that has so many really good players at every single position. But the way they were playing down the stretch, to lose to Ole Miss in the SEC tournament and still somehow figure out a way to be in the field of 68, getting out of the first four, and here they are in the Sweet 16. That's the biggest surprise to me.
You know, Auburn won last night in the NIT, and I thought that Auburn had as good a case as Texas to be in the tournament. If Auburn had been in and Texas had been out, you think Auburn could still be playing right now too? Same type of makeup?
Quite possibly. But I do think that for tournament play, it's always going to be about matchups. And with what Texas has, with Modest Voikititis down low and Dalen Swain on the perimeter as one of the premier small forwards in the SEC, good shooters on the outside with Pope and Heidi and Tremont Mark, I think that Texas was more equipped to be able to beat teams of multiple styles. But nonetheless, kudos to Auburn for participating in the NIT. Listen, this is a tournament that a lot of teams and a lot of coaches are declining to play in. And I think it's great for Stephen Pearl to get some more coaching reps, for this team to show some character that they deserve to play it. And now they find themselves in the Final Four and playing good basketball with an opportunity to win a postseason tournament. I think that's what the college game should be about, because that's opportunity to play and prove, and every young player needs to take advantage of that.
Auburn beating Nevada last night. Now the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament, Texas, Purdue first. You've seen Braden Smith up close and personal a couple of times. How big of a challenge will that be for Sean Miller's team tonight?
Well, I think for Sean Miller's team, you have to come in with the same type of tenacity that you've had in the previous three games. You're the underdog. People didn't expect you to be here. But this Purdue team is playing good basketball. Braden Smith is probably the best point guard in the collegiate game, particularly when it comes to running the show. He has experience of being on the teams of playing in the national championship and being in a Final Four. They got things together to win in the Big Ten championship game and beating Michigan. So that team has a lot of momentum. But Texas does have the personnel when it comes to matching up with the talented Purdue roster. But that's a well-coached team that always executes well, and they got a top-notch point guard that can run the show.
Jordan Pope's dealing with a little bit of a lower leg injury. How important is it for him? He's going to play. He says he's 100%. He's going to play, but he's not going to be 100%. How important is it for him to have a good game for the Longhorns?
Well, it's huge. The point guard position in tournament play is massive. When it gets down to the tough moments of the game, you have to be able to have a guard that can step up and make big-time plays and all the right decisions and set the tone defensively. You know, he's hit some big shots in the tournament play so far. He's a dynamic player that can get to the basket, create for himself and for others. But this Texas team, as I mentioned, to me all season long, it took them some time to figure out the way that Sean Miller wanted his team to play. And they were up and down. They fouled people a lot, which was a problem for them defensively. But they've started to get things clicking down low. If Modest Voikatitis can hit his free throws when he demands the ball and changes up the game by drawing fouls, and he'll be impactful. But as you mentioned, Jordan Pope on the perimeter will have to run the show and see if he can win that point guard matchup, which won't be easy.
Texas and Purdue, 6:10 CBS tonight. We'll talk more about Arkansas in a second. A reminder that New York Butcher Shop is there for lunch today, but also easy to go and all the best cuts of meat. Swing by New York Butcher Shop, locations at Cahaba Heights and at Greystone. You can always call them up or check them out online. New York Butcher Shop, all the butcher services you need from our friends at New York Butcher. All right, man, the one I'm waiting on tonight, Richard, Arkansas, Arizona. I think the Hogs have a chance. Am I crazy that the Hogs have a chance in this one?
No, you're not crazy at all. Anytime you have Darius Acup, the SEC Player of the Year and the hottest player maybe in college basketball right now, you're giving yourself a legit opportunity to come up with the upset. The momentum that teams have in tournament play matters so much. And Arkansas winning the SEC tournament championship for the first time since 2000, if I'm not mistaken. They're playing high-level ball, and this is a team that I was privileged to watch multiple times this year, even the first game of the season. As far as roster construction is concerned, they have all of the pieces that you need to make a deep run in the tournament. They're playing good basketball right now. They were battle-tested in that high-point game that they played against earlier, but now here they are in the Sweet 16 with a big opportunity against a favorite that many people have in the tournament. But I think the Hogs have all the personnel. They have the proven coach. And they have a little bit of this charisma and moxie that it needs in the tournament right now to get it done.
Obviously, the inside game is important in the tournament. You talk guards all the time. Acup draws all the attention. Talk about the other 4 or 5 guys on that roster that seem to have gotten better from the start of tournament play in January to where, I mean, I remember them losing at Neville Arena by 20, and I thought to myself, I don't know if they're going to be able to turn this around. But they have. How have they improved, other than Acup, all those other players?
Well, talent-wise, this is a team that definitely has all of the pieces. And Trevin Brazile, he's a guy who's been on NBA draft boards for many years now. He hasn't played up to his potential, but this season he's turned the page and started to step it up. He had big performances in that Vanderbilt game to close out the SEC championship game, knock down big threes in his rim protection, alongside with Malik Ewan, who's really good in the low post with technical skills. He can also play in pick and roll sets. They've got Nick Pringle, who's been a proven winner, been to a Final Four with Alabama and won 2 SEC tournament championships with Alabama and Arkansas, respectively. So he brings a winning mentality down low to pair with those guards. But this is a deep team. Billy Richmond III is now a legitimate two-way player who's, I think, played his way into some first-round draft consideration. And Malik Thomas, well, the most untalked about freshman that you may have, who's been really consistent throughout the course of this season. So Arkansas is loaded, and I don't know if people have talked about them enough throughout the course of the year, but you're going to see what they're made about tonight against an Arizona team that's really complete and a strong team.
Is it still a thing? Because I know Arkansas's bench is not as deep as others. They don't play as many players as some. Is it still a thing in the NCAA tournament that maybe the commercial breaks are a little longer, that the game is played a little bit more fragmented? You got a little bit more time to rest in a regular season game?
A little bit. I mean, but, teams of this nature have been playing in big-time games that have been on national television all season long. So they have these experiences. However, the rest is not going to matter. You have your bench, but you're probably not going to go as deep into it. So I'm not too concerned about depth when it talks about it, because this is a winner go home situation. And what you're asking for your team is for every single player on the roster to be dialed in through the duration of the game. May it be if we check you in for 2 minutes, you have to have 2 really good productive minutes that keep the game at bay or even increase the lead. So it's not a moment that you're really concerned about fatigue. You're not worried about depth. Your 5, 6, 7 players that are out there playing significant minutes, they have to be ready to go the entire game because it's win or go home.
Richard Hendrix is with us a few more moments. Alabama shoot-around this morning at the United Center. Man, they beat Illinois on this floor earlier this year. Benefit that you played there once already?
Totally. You have that comfort, the familiarity. You've had success and a win on that court. And you did it against a really good team that's still in the Sweet 16 with Illinois. So if you're Alabama, you try to draw some comfort from that. You try to grab a little bit of a psychological advantage when it comes to your personal production to hope that you can go out and redo what you did in the previous time when you stepped on that court. And albeit this will be a different opponent. And Michigan's really good. It's the top team when you talk about what they're able to do defensively, second chance points onto the boards, defensive rebounding, which shows that they're able to finish off possessions, and they have multiple players that can able to impose their will when it comes to their physicality. So this will be a top-notch challenge for Alabama. But if you can draw anything from that previous win, if it's knocking down shots, that's what the Tide is going to have to do from the outside and hopefully play from in front.
Probably their best performance when they slaughtered Texas Tech, and maybe their best defensive performance of the year as well. Are they better defensively with Latrell Wrightsell getting more minutes?
Well, he is a player that does bring it to the defensive tenacity more than maybe others on this roster. He's a proven senior. He has a nice physique, which allows him to have a nice physical engagement when it comes at the point of attack, when you're fighting over screens, on ball screens, as well as pin downs away from the screen, which really can allow them to not have to have your defense to be stretched out too much. So he's playing really good basketball at the right time of year and shooting it well. The 6 threes in the last game against Texas Tech was phenomenal for him, and Houston Millett as well, who brings that same type of spirit defensively. But Alabama's going to have to continue to play with that similar level of confidence. Now, this is a different type of team, and they can get it done with their size on the inside. So it might not be so much about what the perimeter D is going to be doing, but what can Taylor Bowen, Aiden Sherrill, and Noah Williamson contribute when it comes to the interior and the physical play of Michigan when it comes to grinding out a victory.
We're breaking the huddle. Who's going to get most of Yaxel Lindenborg on the defensive end for Alabama? Who's going to be on him the most, you think?
Wow, well, he's a load to handle with his versatility at 6'9", 225 pounds or whatever he is. But, you got to look at the freshman London Jemison. He actually has the physique to be able to match up with him in many ways. And he does not have a role that has to require him to carry so much of an offensive load, which he can focus in on what he has to do defensively. Amari Allen also is a guy who has really good size and can play really good on a defensive matchup. But Lindenberg is very tough. And you're just going to have to make sure that you do your best to contain it and make it difficult for him to be able to connect on his shots. I mean, he's a tough player that can fill it up in so many ways, shooting from the outside with his feet set. He can go in the low post. He can crash the offensive boards. He can get out and run in transition. But it's going to have to be a collective thing for Alabama defensively. You don't just depend on one particular player to shut someone down. You have to be connected for the entire 40 games.
We hear a lot about officiating in the NCAA tournament because it's not your regular group of officials that call your league games all the time. It's mixed and matched together, and maybe you got 3 officials you don't see during the regular season, or maybe just 1 and 2 guys you don't see on the regular. Does it benefit Alabama if this game's called tight or loose?
It benefits them to be called loose if it comes to them. I mean, you want it to be tight when you're able to have the physicality. Every coach wants it to be slanted to their way. So if you're Alabama, you want to be able to bow up and push and be tough. But at the same time, when you get touched, you want to be able to say, hey, that's a foul, particularly when you're a shooting team.
You can't get both, though. You can't have both. You got to pick one way.
It depends on who you are. I mean, you look at some teams, it feels like if you're a coach on one side, you see that the opponent team is getting all the calls. That's exactly how it feels. But nonetheless, when it comes to officiating, I would have the advice for coaches and players to not be concerned with it so much, because it takes off the focus that you can have with your team when it comes to giving instruction in a current moment. And the officials are going to make bad calls. You're going to have to figure out how to live through it and play on. And for Alabama in this particular game, you got to be able to withstand for the 40 minutes and have a tougher mentality And that's when it comes to the players and the opposition that you're playing against and the officiating if something doesn't go your way. It's about resetting, refocusing, and going out and executing your game plan against all odds.
How does Tennessee beat Iowa State?
Their recipe that they've been doing it all year long, which is physical play and defense, second chance points and offensive rebounding. Now, I think the promising thing for Rick Barnes is his team does have that tough defensive identity. But Jacoby Gillespie has been playing really good ball in the NCAA tournament. They got 4 3-pointers made in their last outing from Bishop Boswell, who is more of a defensive stopper that takes on the other team's challenge best player. And then Nate Oats starting to be a little bit healthy. Maybe he got a little bit more rest to come back from that ankle issue that he had. 16 points in his last performance, if I'm not mistaken. He'll have to show up big. And this is when big-time players have to show up in the big-time games. And he's the top recruit that Tennessee has ever had. And he showed flashes of being absolutely box office this season. But here we are in the money time. And for Tennessee to get it done against a really good Iowa State team, he's going to have to take his game to the top level, particularly in the clutch.
How surprised are you that Florida's not still playing?
Extremely surprised at my initial reaction. But as I start to think about it, and you think about a team that is led by their front line, bigs like Houck and Chinyelu and Condon and Hanlogden, and the struggles that they had from the guard position throughout the course of the season. They played really good basketball for a long period of time. They looked a little fatigued, I felt like, in that game against Vanderbilt in the SEC tournament. And when you have to lean on your bigs so much throughout the course of the season, when the season gets long, maybe that was a factor that played a role that they were not able to muster up the energy that it takes to be impactful. Guards can play a little bit more with skill, but bigs have to play oftentimes with will. And I think that seemed to catch up with Florida, particularly with the bigs inside with Chinyelu and Houck and Condon. But still, a tremendous season, an unfortunate finish for Todd Golden's squad, but they did a really good job in their effort to try to repeat.
Richard, man, I appreciate the time. I'm glad you're back on with us, and hopefully we'll catch up again next week to talk about the Final Four.
Hey, I'll be here. Give me a call.
All right. Richard Hendrix there with us on the Shannara Hotline. Richard, have a great night. Enjoy the basketball over the next 2 days. Sweet 16 action. Don't forget our Shannara Showdown is happening on our website and our social media platform. You can go play the game right now. Our feature game tonight is Arkansas and Arizona. Go make your play right now in our Shannara Showdown right there online. nextroundlive.com and on our social media platform. Appreciate Richard Hendrix being with us. Always a great guy and great insight there. The path for Texas to beat Purdue, the path for Arkansas to beat Arizona, the path for Alabama to beat Michigan, and the path for Tennessee to beat Iowa State. All the SEC teams underdogs in this round. Can any of them survive to get to the Elite Eight? The guys behind the big glass say no, 0. I got multiple. I'm going to say 3 upsets. 3 upsets. It'll be big ones. We'll get to trash in just a second. The show being brought to you by our friends at One Man and a Toolbox. One Man and a Toolbox performs handyman services for homes and commercial properties in Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Montgomery, and surrounding areas. They do regular repairs and maintenance and also small project renovations and updates. They have multiple technicians with different skill sets and can tackle most any items in your home. Call for free estimates, 205-823-2111 or onemanandatoolbox.com. And don't forget, you mentioned the next round, you get a $25 discount for your first hour of service. It's all right there at onemanandatoolbox.com. Let's do trash, Tyler. You ready to hit it, man?
Now, if that's too much, 12 different appetizers to choose from. I'm a fried dickle pickle man. I'm a fried dill pickle man.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. I'll be enjoying probably 9 of them here soon if Arizona doesn't choke away.
I really believe you and I are going to be celebrating an Arkansas win tomorrow.
I hope so. I've never had 9 beers or 9 hot dogs in one sitting, so I'm not sure how I'll fare doing both.
Well, if we both end up losing, if you take half of my calendar shoot or if you take half of my Uber rides or ride with me, whichever one I get punished with, I'll eat all 9 of your hot dogs. You drink the 9 beers.
We can work out the details later, but I'd ride shotgun with you for Uber to get some content.
I would. I could hammer 9 hot dogs easily. Like on the reg. Once a week, I eat 4 hot dogs for lunch.
That's a lot of hot dogs for lunch.
Yeah.
I can do 2, 3 if I'm starving, but that's about where I tap out.
And that's 4 with chili, slaw, kraut, onions, the whole works on it.
Okay, you probably could put away the 9 then.
If it's just 9 hot dogs with just mustard on it, easy. It's the 9 beers I couldn't hit.
So, starting off today, we've got a very expensive VIP ticket for WWE. We've seen all sorts of crazy packages for fans that artists and companies will put together. But this one is to make pasta and table wine with your favorite wrestlers. It will be at the Clash in Italy event, and tickets will cost $12,000 if you want to make pasta with your favorite wrestler.
Wow. Let me see if I can guess the 2 wrestlers. That's John Cena on the left.
Yep.
And is that The Undertaker?
You got it.
All right.
General tickets are now on sale for the May 31st event, but there are also VIP ticket packages, like I mentioned. You've got the Champion Plus package, which will have a front row ticket, backstage experience, pre-stage hospitality, and even ringside photo ops. And none of that compares to the 12 grand pasta making challenge.
Wow.
Or package. But if you don't want to spend a ton to go to Italy and watch people fake fight each other and then make pasta with them, then you can just watch it on Netflix, because they are the streamer for WWE now.
I promise you, if I'm ever in Italy, I told you earlier, bucket list vacation, 2 things I will not be doing. 1 is going to a wrestling event, and 2 is making pasta with wrestlers.
That's fair.
Yep.
Next up, we got a guy going viral because he got arrested for the 98th time. I think we should go with 3 strikes and you're out, or maybe even 10. 98 seems excessive.
Arrested 98 times?
Yes. It's a man from near the Seattle area. And on March 23rd, local news outlets in Washington State reported that a man from Thurston County had been arrested for the 98th time. According to police, the man, who has not yet been named, was involved in a high-speed car chase with officers the night of his 98th arrest. The chase, which was called off twice by officers, had, quote, extremely reckless behavior from the fleeing driver, as well as an unsuccessful pit maneuver. However, they managed to find the car involved in the chase after it was abandoned. The unnamed man and woman were eventually arrested by officers after they were found walking around. And the man is a 4-time convicted criminal with 27 prior misdemeanors and has been convicted of numerous thefts in the past, as well as DUI, eluding police, possession of narcotics, and they also found he had a custom bong device built into the dashboard of his truck so he could smoke while he was driving. So this guy is...
How's he not behind bars?
He should be. That's an issue.
Yeah. I mean, just the continuing thefts, and then the marijuana, and then the reckless driving, the drunk driving, he's got to be behind bars.
Yeah, I thought there were like habitual offender laws.
Yeah.
Like where, like, if you're repeat offend enough times, I just Googled Washington State. Maybe it's only related to driving habitual offenses, but I know, like in Alabama, after a while, if you keep repeating the same stuff, there's like, okay, well, we're just going to hold you longer than what you usually would get for this penalty.
Yeah, I don't know how many episodes there were of the Andy Griffith Show, but I'm not sure Otis, the town drunk, got arrested 98 times.
I was sitting here thinking, I wonder if the Duke boys ever got arrested 98 times.
I don't think so.
I think Boss Hogg would have just had them put down before they got to 98.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's not even like a fun drunk just stumbling out of a bar and getting arrested for public intox. He's endangering lives.
Yep.
Throw this creep behind bars.
Next up, we've got a new package from United Airlines.
It's so funny. I promise you, before I saw this story, I thought about this because I flew red-eye. from Vegas, and I thought to myself, if I had this whole row, this would be spectacular. And there was an empty seat between us and the lady on the aisle. I had the wall to lean up against, the side of the plane. She did the basic. She took over the second seat, basically, so she could sleep. I was leaning against a wall. But this is a brilliant idea.
Yep. United Airlines is introducing its brand new Relax Row, where each seat has leg rests that can be raised to create a bed for passengers to lie down on during their flight. United broke the news on March 24th alongside a promotional video showing the adjustable leg rests at work. Passengers who book a Relax Row will also receive a mattress pad, blanket, and 2 pillows for maximum comfort. Travelers who are flying with children will even get a Snuggable plushie along with a children's travel kit in a partner with Sesame Street. The kit is full of activities like slide puzzles and sensory calming strips to keep kids entertained in the air. Flyers will have to wait until 2027 to enjoy this perk, though, which will be available on more than 200 of the airline's Boeing 787 and 777 wide-body planes. These particular aircrafts will have up to 12 Relax Rows installed.
Can I just say how quick until we have a trash story of someone having sex in one of these relaxed rows?
Well, it says it'll be rolled out in 2027, so 2027.
Yeah, no, I mean, one of the very first flights, the Mile High Club, just got a lot easier.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than the lavatory.
Yeah. Now, it'll be happening under a blanket probably, but it'll happen. There'll be complaints.
My first thought when I looked at this is it reminds me of like in a motorhome when you like convert the kitchen table into a bed.
Yeah. Well, this is a very train-like setup, right?
Yeah.
It's very much like a train where you would have a cart or whatever it's called where you have your own little booth, except there's no walls here. But I mean, I'm for fewer seats, more comfort on a plane. And I think in the long run, the airlines would make just as much money, maybe more.
This has got to be like a minimum amount of time on this flight, right? I mean, like, is this for like maybe cross-country flights or international flights?
They didn't specify like a minimum length the flight would have to be to meet this Relax Row category. You look like you need Relax Row right about now.
Yeah, I just yawned, and because I was thinking about how sleepy I was on that overnight flight. But that makes overnight flying just so much easier.
Yep, it's going to be for long-haul flights, so cross-country international flights, which that's where you need it. I don't need it on a, like a flight to Orlando or something.
That's right. By the way, I don't know if this is unique or not, or how many there are, but I was nervous about my midnight flight back out of Vegas to Chicago because I was just thinking to myself, man, the pilots, if they had an overnighter in Vegas, are they going to be in shape to stay up and fly at midnight? But I had a all-female crew, pilot, co-pilot, both females, from Vegas to Chicago. I don't always know who's flying my plane, but I try to notice when I'm leaving the plane. But it was a all-female crew flying my plane. That's that's never happened to me before. I'd love to know if it's happened to anybody else. I mean, I've seen an occasional female pilot, co-pilot, but this was a all-female crew. And we arrived on time, shockingly.
Well, next up, final trash story of the day. An etiquette coach going viral for what I believe might be the dumbest thing that you could ever suggest.
Okay, well, an etiquette coach is someone who teaches me proper manners,
table etiquette, things like that, how to interact with high society.
Like I'm not supposed to have my elbows on the table,
right,
when I'm eating.
This guy says you should eat cereal with a fork.
Oh, that's asinine.
So he's gone viral after claiming that people have been eating cereal wrong all along, suggesting a two-utensil method that sparked debate online. This is William Hanson. He's a podcaster, author, and professional etiquette coach known for sharing dining rules on Instagram. And he posted a video outlining what he says is the proper way to eat breakfast cereal. He demonstrates eating the cereal with both a spoon and a fork, explaining that each utensil has a role. He said, here's how to eat breakfast cereal. First of all, add your milk of choice to the cereal, and then with a spoon held in your dominant hand and the fork in your non-dominant hand, you will eat. He added, now it's not soup, so you don't need to spoon away from you as you would with soup, but you can use the fork to push some of the cornflakes onto the spoon and eat accordingly. He addressed the response in an interview with People, saying he doesn't always know which of his tips will take off online. He says, it's always so amusing to me which tips people engage with. I can never tell when filming what will capture people's attention and what may go a little undetected. I'm glad that I've been helping people improve people's breakfast this month.
First off, crappy wallpaper, hate it.
Yeah.
Secondly, I have been eating soup wrong forever. I shovel it towards myself.
Yeah, I always go like this, but apparently in high society, you like
shovel
go
away, okay.
And then back up.
And listen, I have no problem getting the cornflakes or my cereal of choice onto my spoon. I don't need a fork.
Yeah.
But it just dawned on me, that, you know, when I'm eating like corn or black-eyed peas or something, there's an occasion where, you know, I'm trying to get them into my spoon, and I usually take a piece of bread and I sort of push with the bread, sopping up some juice and to get those peas or corn into my spoon.
That's Southern table etiquette.
Or fork.
Yep.
I never thought about using the other utensil to help me with that. That's game changing, because I always do feel like a redneck when I've got a piece of roll that I'm shoving black-eyed peas under my fork or spoon, and then eating that bread as well because it's got all the good juices on it.
I'd rather eat the tasty bread afterwards than hear a fork and spoon scrape against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's Southern table etiquette is to sop it up with a biscuit. I don't need another fork. So
that's right.
100%.
That's right. That's interesting. I like that. Is that your last trash story?
That's all I got today.
Can we do the dogs real quick? Can you pull up the dog story?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Now, I thought this was in Nashville originally, but it's in China. So I don't know if I'm as much into the story after I read it, but I saw the social media post to start with. Actually, Dawn Davenport from 3HL 3 Hour Lunch in Nashville is the person who retweeted it that allowed me to see the story for the first time. But there were a pack of dogs, 7 of them, that were stolen from their owners, and they've gone viral after escaping their captors and making their way home. The group is believed to have traveled over 17 kilometers together, led by a corgi, across busy highways and fields. And there's pictures of them as a group walking down busy highways and such, and Tyler's pulling those up right now. Now, it's in China, so that changed the story. At first, I thought it was in Nashville because Dawn had retweeted it. But still a pretty amazing story when you see these dogs all stolen from their owners. Now, pretty scary that you got like butcher meat hanging down.
Yeah, this was just the first picture that popped up, and that makes me think they weren't escaping the owners.
Yeah, they were escaping death?
Yeah, like a wet market or something.
Yeah. Well, it's China, but they were able to break out, and not only did they escape, they went 17 kilometers back and made it back to their homes, their houses. Amazing animals. Better story for me when it was like suburbs of Nashville, not China.
Like Homeward Bound, the Disney movie.
Yeah. When I wanted to bring this story up, it was Nashville. These are American dogs making it back, and it was an amazing story. Still a good story in China.
Michael J. Fox could voice this corgi.
Yeah, the corgi was the leader apparently. So the big dogs were following the coach, the small coach there, coaching them up. That's Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. They bring you the final hour of the show every day, Champy's Chicken. Highway 119 in Alabaster. Great folks right there at champyschicken.com. And our folks at Hemp Hill Services, heating and cooling needs, they take care of that for you, not just for your home, but if you're a business owner too, they can take care of your large business, whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or your business. They're ready to help you. 205-229-2090, 229-2090, our friends at Hemp Hill Services. All right, Sweet 16 basketball tonight. Let's get a little sound to get you ready for those games. Tyler, cut 6, 7, and 8. We'll go in order here as we make our final dash to the Sweet 16 happening tonight. Don't forget the Shannara Showdown Links on all of our social media platforms. You can play at nextroundlive.com. You do not have to play every round. You maybe haven't played a single Shannara Showdown yet. You can jump in and win tonight. Cut 6 is Jon Calipari. As Arkansas gets ready as an underdog, pretty heavy underdog, playing Arizona tonight, 8:45 on CBS. Jon Calipari gets asked how different it is in today's game with freshmen playing against guys in their mid-20s.
You've obviously relied on freshmen for a long time. Is it different in today's game when you have, some teams using 23, 24, older guys? Or
25, 26,
25,
27.
Yeah. Is it different relying on freshmen?
Beards, kids in the stands, on their second wife. Yeah, this is a little bit different. So then you say, well, why are they staying in school so long? For the money. I don't blame them. I do not blame them. It's our fault that we have nothing that prohibits age. Make it 25. Kids transfer 5 times. Why? It's the same reason. Can I get more money somewhere? That's why if you put your name in the portal and you're on my team, you're out. I'm not going to be extorted. You know where we stand on things. So it's, yes, harder with freshmen. Now, we just brought in 3 5-star freshmen, all physically able to guard 24 and 25-year-olds. If you're not physically able to withstand a 25 or 26, it's really dangerous. But the 3 that we just signed, they're all, I can call them beasts.
Yeah, grown men. Arkansas's coach Jon Calipari there. It's a big age difference you get now. And everybody was thinking Chad Baker-Mazara, right? When he was saying that, everybody was thinking. He doesn't play anymore, but he was one of the older guys in college athletics. Arizona head coach Tommy Lloyd, Arizona's the other side of this game. And he's got, a little bit of a distraction he's having to talk about. Maybe his players are thinking about it tonight. His name is being mentioned. Kalshi, in fact, the odds earlier on had Tommy Lloyd and Billy Donovan as the 2 betting favorites to be the next head coach at North Carolina. So Tommy Lloyd had to take questions not about Arkansas, not about his Arizona team, but about the North Carolina job yesterday.
You may have heard there's an opening in Chapel Hill. Your name is being bandied about pretty prominently. I want to make news or address that too specifically, but I would think at a relatively early point in your head coaching career, the fact that when the best jobs in America open up, your name is thrown into that must be pretty nice. So take that anywhere you want.
Oh, wow. Well, thanks. I preferred the first question about Mixmaster Mike. What I'll say, Seth, is I already have one of the best jobs in the country. And one thing we talk about in our program all the time, and I think I've gotten better at, and I think our team's been crushing it this year, is just the ability to have full focus and be present in the moment. And so I think we have a great team. I think we have a chance to advance in this tournament game by game, but I'm not delusional. I know we could lose tomorrow, but this team deserves my full focus. So there's not one thing that is gonna knock me off my path. I'm 100% focused on Arizona basketball and this program, and I can't wait till the ball gets thrown up tomorrow, and then can't wait to try to figure out a way to come out on top.
They lost to Kansas and Texas Tech in the same week. Since then, they have beaten BYU, at Houston, at Baylor, Kansas, Iowa State, at Colorado, USF, Iowa State, and Houston again. And then they've gotten into the NCAA tournament, and they've beaten LIU and Utah State to get to this point. So a long run of big wins this year for Arizona, broken into 2 long winning streaks by a 2-game losing streak smack dab in the middle. Pretty good run for Arizona this year, who ended up 16-2 in the Big 12. The SEC team, other SEC team in action tonight is Texas. And they start to play at 6:10 Central Time tonight on CBS, Texas and Purdue. And he gets asked, Sean Miller does, about playing with Arizona fans in the stands because Arizona plays the game after them on the same floor. Sean Miller was the longtime coach at Arizona, and like Will Wade, he lost his job at Arizona because of that FBI undercover investigation into college basketball recruiting back in the day. So is Sean Miller worried about Arizona fans booing and cheering for the other team as Texas plays tonight?
You guys have the first game tomorrow. There will certainly be Arizona fans in the stands. Have you thought at all about, just kind of the energy that they're going to bring, whether it's cheering for you or against you or things like that?
I really haven't. I would hope they would cheer for us. We're the 11 seed. If I were them, I'd want us to win. But my relationship with Arizona is nothing but great. The other part of it doesn't really exist for me. I think with that emotion, you can either burn the house down or make it warmer. And, I look at that place and that experience as nothing but just making my house warmer. I have nothing but positive thoughts, feelings, and perspectives towards that experience.
That's Sean Miller on having his former team's fans inside the stands tonight. And before we go, a reminder that Will Wade is reportedly leaving NC State and heading to LSU to be their new coach. Reports say that LSU's roster budget will be north of $12 million. Pete Nakos making that announcement today, making that report today, that Will Wade is guaranteed of having more than $12 million to put together his LSU roster. And as Will Wade once said, that'll be a strong-ass offer to make to recruits to come play for him down at LSU. That's our show today. We're back with you tomorrow. Brown traveling, and he'll be in studio with me, so a couple of solo days are done. Again, appreciate all the folks who joined us. Matt Stahl from AL.com, who had an opportunity to talk to us about decreasing high school recruiting budgets in the SEC, including Alabama, who spent $1 million less this past year in high school recruiting. Alex Mortensen is on the show today, UAB's head coach, about the culture he's instilling, and Richard Hendrix, who broke down all of the basketball games involving SEC teams here in the Sweet 16. You can get all those podcasted at Apple and Spotify and wherever you get the Next Round podcasted. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.